Hey everyone, we are here, Not Cool in High School. Full house tonight, boys. This is it. This is the Six Manor.
Packed to the gills.
Yeah, this is. I have the old mic on, so I don't know how. We'll find out. We'll find out later.
Fine to us.
Surprisingly, yeah.
I think you're too far away from me.
Yeah,
I know. I'll never let go. Yeah, so this is like the full cast here we got set up. I feel so weird.
Far away?
Yeah, I feel like strange. I think it's because this is all on the way. I don't miss this setup at all. Actually, I never really used this boom. I think we used it like a handful of times.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we should have used it more because you get it closer to your mouth, face, and it sounds a little better.
Should I kill the light up on top?
You should not. Remember we talked about that like 5 seconds ago?
Okay, well,
right.
I barely heard anything.
Can you turn the light on?
Yeah, so... sorry. That was really rude. I'm really sorry, man. That was fucked.
All right.
Yeah, if you guys like what you hear, check out the links below. Merch store is up and running again with brand new low prices. So t-shirts are now $15. $15 fucking dollars.
Can I get a rebate?
Yeah, that's pretty cheap. That's pretty cheap.
Hoodies. $25.
Nice.
Yeah, you like so
good price.
Yeah, so we're it's not so much we're not making money on it really anymore. It's more or less to get it out there and have people wearing it. That's my strategy, I guess now. And I guess before, if it was too expensive because people didn't want to buy it, now you can. There's no excuse. And you can also, if you want to get free shipping on it, you can use the code IWEP, and that'll give you free shipping.
You know, I wonder with the shirts and stuff, you know, especially with the Bangin' Beers, if we could have, like, say, like Mellow Minx or something on it, you know, like sponsors kind of type thing.
Yeah, that would be something I'm very
pretty
interested
cool.
in. Yeah,
Never really thought about that.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that. Or so one shirt has a collaboration shirt. We did a Bangin' Beers with Bad Maggie, and we used their logo mixed with our logo and kind of made a spoof, like not really a spoof, but like a dual partnership one.
Cool.
We are also looking, because we are coming up on episode 50. It doesn't have to be episode 50, but we are looking for possible new intro music. It's nothing personal, nothing mad. Like, we love Look Alive, we liked it, but I do want to give other local bands or artists or musicians an opportunity as well. That's not saying that we'll never have Look Alive as intro music again. It's still all saved, it's all there, and if they come out with a new song, we'd use it again. But we are looking for new stuff. We want to swap it out and give other people opportunities. Interviews with Everyday People has a new theme song coming up, episode 54, which is like 3 months from now. So get ready for that. It's going to be Churches and Trains, Tim Mingle.
How many do you have in the can?
Punk. For that episode?
Yeah, for that show.
In the can.
I have about 2 more months worth of content.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So like 8 episodes, 9, 10 maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's
Good for you.
And that I'm still recording stuff.
Get that hustle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bangin' Beers were 2 ahead, but we are taking off next Friday, so we're not going to have one recorded then, so that'll balance itself out. Speaking of Bangin' Beers, we did go to our first brewery, which is cool. We experienced our first like on-location brewery. We're really, really fun time, so that's coming soon. And that's pretty much all I got when it comes to our news. So definitely check out all the links below. We're going to talk about some news, what we're into, what we watched, how we're living our lives. And then
on the edge.
Tonight's topic is going to be something I know nothing about. And it's going to be D&D. So we're going to talk
Not the bar in School Haven. Is that still called
No,
the D&D?
I thought that's not what we're talking about.
Is that what you were researching?
You did the wrong research.
Oh, man.
They used to have a wing night, and they used to have a swear jar.
And they're open at like 6 o'clock in the
swear
morning.
jar?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just
What kind of bar has a swear jar? That's why you know it's not a good place.
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to...
I was in there once for wings years ago.
There's a place called Amberdean's where the Compass Rose used to be, and she said hell they would actually get up and tell you to
Put you
to
in
get
hell?
out.
Really?
Like to get out. They tell you to
If
get
you
out.
said hell...
I would
like
have been.
hell or like damn.
I'd say-
They're like, we wouldn't condone that.
I'd say you're running
get
a
out.
bar, right? Like,
I would not last very long.
hey,
in
don't
that
say
fashion.
hell, but get really drunk and drive your car on the street. That's okay.
I was hoping Ben was going to say they banish you to hell. That'd be fucking awesome.
They'd light you on fire.
That would be me.
I wonder why that bar.
I would say that.
I wonder why that's not open anymore.
Well, they moved to Florida.
So Ben is letting me use
Or it's hot as hell.
a Batman Beyond glass tonight, and
It's a hot glass.
I may pull a Jason later on. This,
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Neither do I.
yeah, no one needs to know on camera. We'll talk about it later. But and then Ben's using he brought it back for tonight.
The
most
impractical.
impractical Dragon Ball Z glass. You'll get to watch Ben. Oh, you didn't even pour a beer into it yet.
I know, I didn't. Not
Hurry
yet.
up.
Did you see the bottom of that glass? Ben showed me there's like etching, and that's what's causing the
called
bubbles.
nucleation,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
It's fucking
Does,
awesome.
Does the
Oh,
beer taste a
wow.
little bit better?
I guess so. I mean,
What are you having in it? Chesterfield.
Chetty.
Me.
Chesterfield.
Get outta here.
Chesterfield.
Go to
is weird.
hell.
Like if you have it in a bottle and pour it into a
There's a-
glass,
yeah,
it
there's
does
like-
lose a little bit.
Yeah,
There's
for sure.
circles in the bottom.
Yeah.
No,
And
is
that's,
there?
that's
Let
what's
it-
causing that
yeah,
to come
no
up.
joke.
It is fuzzing. Like if you look,
me see this shit.
there is
That's
circles
from,
at the bottom,
I
and
wonder if
it's
that'll
making
fit
little
my
bubbles.
pants.
I love
That's from synth hop.
I wonder if that'll fit my pants.
See?
Yeah, with your big
That's
dick,
cool.
Tony.
Oh, my
that
big
is-
dick
that's
energy.
Now, what would happen if you put a soda in there? Would it make the soda bubbly?
It probably would.
He must have a huge one.
Would it make the bubbly bubbly?
Yeah, my wife's so hot, and I'm so ugly. Yeah, that's back. Here we are.
He's
So
an ugly
Tom
fuck.
Kessler for a day.
a little bit of news I got. I have quite a bit of news here. If there's anything I missed, that you guys can definitely bring it up, and we'll talk
News it
about
up.
each one.
I'm gonna get one of each kind out of this.
Netflix got a big get for Pokemon fans. The CG remake of the Revenge of Mewtwo.
Oh, Mewtwo's Revenge.
That's- yeah,
Or
Re-
Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Yes, that is going to be
I'll try to get
on
the full
Netflix.
set.
That's
Yeah.
going straight to Netflix.
Just from seeing like some of the photos, they're making it CGI. Am
Yes,
I right?
they
in that?
redid the entire movie in CGI.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It looks amazing.
If it looks great, fine. But I'm just so used to the old animation style.
Yeah, it looks
I like
really,
that.
really good.
nice.
Yeah. Anyone else have thoughts on that while you play your dice?
Now, which one is it?
Pretty much the first Pokemon movie.
Oh, okay,
Mewtwo
yeah, okay. I
Revenge
see
or
that one.
Strikes
Is that the
Back.
one where Ash dies? Spoiler for
Oh,
one.
Jesus.
It's for a movie.
Good job, Andy.
A movie that came out in 1996.
But it's a new movie again.
Oh, they were like redoing it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Spoiler alert.
Talk about blown
He
away.
spoiled that
like,
movie that's older than I am.
20 plus years.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
I seen that
Wow.
in a drive-in.
I saw
That's
that in
awesome.
I
theaters.
seen it on bootleg. I don't know.
I think I seen this
Not really
the Pokemon
need to see
movie
that.
and Power Rangers Secret of Ooze in the same drive-in that
Oh
night.
shit!
That's awesome.
Yeah,
What a night!
it was
I
fantastic.
got to see those.
Did you get laid?
My mom wouldn't put out.
I said no. That one.
Sorry, Mom, that was an inappropriate joke. So
Throwing
here's
the incest in there.
yeah, here's
man.
Ben. You want to tell your drive-in story?
No.
I didn't think so.
However, when the show's over,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
like to talk about that.
Please remind me. I will definitely.
Oh God.
I have no idea.
So yeah, you're not. It's gonna be great. So remember when like Xbox kind of got some crap from the PlayStation fan guys, and they're like, "Your games aren't even exclusive to your system because you can play them on PC too." Ha ha ha! You don't have exclusive games. Horizon Zero Dawn going to PC. It's just like,
Well, it's been
come
out
on,
for-
PlayStation, you're taking away all of our bullets.
It's been out for what, 2 years?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just funny
This
that
is, it's kind of what PlayStation does.
yeah.
Not to be a dick. I mean, I haven't bought a PlayStation since the PlayStation 2, but I remember when you know the Wiimote, like it was extremely popular,
Oh,
and then
the
they're like,
stupid
"We got
wand
this,
thing.
we got this fucking wand. Check it out."
That was so
and
dumb.
Xbox did the Kinect, which I guess was a little more popular than the stupid wand, but I don't know. That Wiimote was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
It was dumb. It didn't
Made a lot of money.
work
I
well,
didn't
right?
like it, but-
it didn't work well, but
That Zelda game that came out, I'm like, no, this is annoying.
lame. Yeah, you
I
just,
mean, it was
all you
cool
had to do is
to,
shake it
to shoot the
Right.
bow like that, but do you want to do that for 2 hours straight? I don't. Like,
No,
And then
I'd rather go shoot a bow.
yeah.
we have 2 delays announced. Dying Light 2 is going to be delayed.
Oh, I didn't hear about
and
that.
Cyberpunk is going to be delayed.
And Final Fantasy got pushed back like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yes.
That always gets pushed
I was
back.
just gonna say that too.
Yeah. This is actually video game news, but it's kind of neat. This is news that if you are a fan of the Tornado Tag episode, then you already know this. But we actually have some breaking news on the Retromania game that was released to us on our podcast. So we learned that the game will have 3 more roster spots filled with characters. That are stuff that people know. Kind of tease that it may be more NWA characters, NWA wrestling. the idea of the game is this is not going to be something that's a bi-yearly, every 3 years they're going to make a new one. This is going to be a passion project where, from like kind of like Smash Brothers, in 3 years you may have 5 DLC packs for it.
Yeah, more.
They're going to keep putting this stuff into this game. So he was kind of hinting at maybe even the indie wrestling challenge where you add an indie wrestler to the game. That may be something they do again next year or the year after. Like this is not something they're going to make and forget about it. They're going to keep adding to it, doing more, adding like
the way he was talking. They have like the first DLC lined up already.
Yeah.
And telling us, blatantly.
Yeah, and then they want to do a create a wrestler thing, but kind of, he also said like every other wrestling game has been around for so long, they've actually had time to go and add all those animations. So if you want to make a character, all those moves are in the game. So they're eventually, when they get comfortable and the game's out, they are going to start doing that and possibly put a create a wrestler in the game in the future. Just won't be at launch. So if you are buying Retromania from Retrosoft Studios, this is a game that if you buy it, it's going to be something you can stick around with for a while and really keep playing it and really dive into, and it's going to be something they're going to keep adding to it. So it's not a game that you buy, it's going to have 13, 15 wrestlers, and then it's over. No, they're going to keep adding and growing and trying to get the rights to more people as they hit the indie scenes and stuff.
And so the artwork's taking longer because they have to have every sprite go through the motion of every move.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not buying until they put in Andy Header.
Yeah, I know.
And he will not be in it, unfortunately. For now.
Forever. Come on,
he did. Listen, if we keep supporting it, I'm going to keep asking him to call in and talk and stuff with us. I like to come on this show because it's a video game inspired show. But he did make a joke. I don't think it'll ever come out to anything. But I threw like, hey, maybe if one of the guys in the crowd are wearing a Tornado Tag podcast shirt, it would be awesome. But he says, oh, you can have Tornado Tag matches. I said, like Tornado Tag podcast matches. And he goes, that's why I said it for you guys. So who knows? I definitely think he seems like a guy who like
very nice guy.
Very nice guy, and he definitely seems like he remembers who has helped him. Like the Outbreak ring is definitely still in the game, and it may make.
It's already made.
Yeah, and he may even throw it in there because they let him set up their booth there. So like he is very, and there's a lot of like high end people in the industry that are helping, like Bust Open Radio, like Bust Open on Sirius XM.
Yeah, what's the guy's name?
Dave LaGreca.
Yeah, and then Dave Lagana from NWA is also.
Yeah, NWA is helping out. So it's pretty. To me, it's cool that he even was willing to talk to us as someone who has fucking 300 subscribers, and he's working with NWA Power. You know what I mean? So like, it was really neat, and I thought it was a really, not trying to toot our own horn, I thought we did a good job with the interview.
I thought it went very well.
So if you're not a wrestling fan, but you maybe are excited about the wrestling video game, go check out the last Tornado Tag podcast episode. It's right in the beginning, and it's a really, really good interview. Very proud of it. NBC's streaming service is going to be launching in April, and it will be 100% free. So good, if you are an Office fan...
Who wants to buy another streaming service?
Yes. So if you are an Office fan and you're bummed that it is leaving Netflix, you can watch it on NBC streaming service for free.
That's cool. We can't say anything bad about that.
Yeah, not at all. And I think like Friends will be there.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec, of all their stuff. I was never a Friends guy. Seinfeld's NBC.
30 Rock?
Yeah.
30 Rock?
Yep. 30 Rock.
So there's probably a lot of
80s like sitcoms that were canceled and short-lived 90s ones.
If they're smart and they put that on there, absolutely.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Realistically, if NBC is like, hey, we're going to charge $10 a month, but we're going to put our entire backlog of old TV shows.
There's a lot of stuff to be on there, yeah.
That's not a terrible
idea. Because I don't know, maybe like Alpha's on NBC or something.
Or like Cheers and shit like that. Like,
was Night Court on NBC?
I think. There's a lot.
Would you actually watch Night Court again?
Yeah. I'd just be interested in that. Yeah.
Fucking band. Is Night Court on?
Hey, I like Night Court.
I don't know what channel. I don't know what network it was on.
But you're like excited.
I'm not jonesing to watch Night Court, but I like Night Court.
Does it sound okay to everybody? I only have one earbud. These headphones are broken.
Sounds good.
Oh, that sucks. That sounds fine.
All right, cool. Ozzy Osbourne makes an announcement today.
Yes, he has Parkinson's.
He has Parkinson's disease.
But I was like, he's been looking like that for 20 years.
Sure. It's really catching. It's catching up hard to him. Like in the interview, he
really.
Yeah,
it's a shame. How old is he now?
He's in
70,
pain.
70
he's not comfortable.
72.
Yeah, and one of the things Sharon said, and obviously I don't have Parkinson's disease, but how she said that. Wow, I don't know who laughed. You're like, I don't have Parkinson's. Yeah.
Fucking wow, Tony.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You're the one who did it. It just caught me off guard. But she did say like your lows are really, really low, and your normal days are normal. And I can what I have, I can 100% relate, because when you have a bad day, man, it not only just hurts your body, but then your fucking mind, your mind starts playing games on you.
Sucks.
It's fucking terrible.
But hey, for the life he lived,
he's had
I think he still came out pretty all right.
he had a
Fucking
great,
rager,
he's
yeah.
had a fucking great run,
Rager.
and it's not even over. It's
Yeah.
legit not over. The guy said it's not a death sentence. It's just going to be very uncomfortable for
Ozzy
him.
will die on stage. That's how
Now,
Ozzy-
did you
Well, he
guys-
wanted to
That
die.
happened earlier this week to a guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's happened to Ozzy before.
No, I think his name was Tim Only
Gotta get in
Oh,
there.
okay.
or Only,
Or something like that. Yeah.
He was in the middle of a performance. I want to say in Florida. I don't know what he played or anything like that, but right in the middle of a performance, he goes, "Excuse me a second." Puts his head down,
And die.
dead.
Wow, how
Just
about that?
dead.
Jesus.
Do you want to
Good
go out
for
like
him, man.
you want to go out like Mickey Rourke and the wrestler off the
No,
top
I don't want to die in a ring.
off the top rope, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I would have
Wait
not
a
for
second.
myself, but for everyone out
It's
watching.
not confirmed that he dies there.
Yeah, it's not.
implied.
It's implied.
They're waiting to make the sequel. And
Yeah.
the sequel opens up where he lands, pins him, wins the world title.
and then dies.
No joke.
No,
he
doesn't die.
dies while he pins him.
He starts training new people. That's the wrestler too.
Just
know,
more Marissa Tomei from that movie.
I
Yeah,
don't
she
know.
was-
I don't
she
know
was-
how I feel
Yeah.
about that.
What if you know what's gonna happen? Like the person he starts training, they're gonna be like, I think I'm gonna make a run in the Indies.
Yeah.
What if he chains Chris Benoit Jr.?
Oh God.
It's like the new Karate Kid.
He actually wants to start wrestling as David Benoit wants to start wrestling as Chris Benoit Jr.
Same music and everything.
Yeah, that's what I
Same
said. He has
music,
to
same gear, same everything.
everything.
And then he gets trained by Mickey Rourke.
That's like,
Did you see pictures of Ozzy Osbourne over the years then too? Because the one article that I saw,
never seen
it
what
was
he looked
like like in the 60s, like 70s, 80s, 90s, like it's like spanning decades.
Yeah.
And he did not change a bit, like just hair, but mostly facial.
he
exactly the
was
same,
fat in
except
the
for-
'80s for a time.
Yeah.
That's what I call. That
That was like the
Elvis
Marcus
He
Ozzy.
was swollen up with booze.
and he had like blondish hair with
Yeah.
streaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. That's when he
It
was.
was, I call that Liz Taylor Ozzy.
Yeah, he was drinking so much booze. He was so swollen. Like when like you have like a really rough year or two, and you're just drinking, and you get like a fat face from booze.
Yeah, and then he went down.
like
and he
like
looks
right
Ozzy.
now, like me. And this is my booze era.
That same time, he had that like British lesbian haircut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
At the
yeah.
same time.
Yeah, I think Sharon was on the booze too because she was she was bigger. I love Sharon to death. But anyway, next bit of news before we offend more people. GameCube, new Joy-Cons.
Oh,
but,
that look like GameCube.
but they're GameCube Joy-Cons.
I was thinking about getting them, but I was like, they're
I
cool
thought the
looking.
guy modded those, modded the actual GameCube controller just
No,
to
they're
take it.
making them now.
Yeah,
not
they're
not
making
Yeah,
Nintendo.
there was one
They're
dude
not
that
official.
had it though. But
Oh, well, yeah, he probably made it.
Yeah, it
Except
looked
for them
wild.
Smash Brothers players that like, I need the GameCube controller.
I think if you're a Smash Bros. Player and you're already in that route, you're just buying the adapter and putting a GameCube
Yeah.
controller
But
on.
maybe you're like, now you can play with portable.
screen right in the middle of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't see how it's beneficial. I'm fucking terrible at Smash Brothers. Sabrina Part 3.
I know, I'm excited. She looks so good.
I
know she's 14 in the show or whatever, 16. Who cares?
How old is she in real life?
I think she's probably about 20.
I think she's older than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Karen Sipka?
Wasn't she naked in one scene?
Nah, not really.
Not really. You never see anything. You never see like.
She's like in a tub though. You see like side boob or something.
Yeah, you don't see any like nipple or
In
nothing
season
like that.
1.
The show is just really
It is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember I watched it. Same with Shameless. There's a scene in Shameless where there's a girl, and obviously she's of age. And then Frank walks in, and she's in the tub, and she's topless, and she's supposed to be playing a 14-year-old girl, and he's just coming on to Frank, and you're like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's actually she was pretty hot.
She was, but she was portraying.
She was supposed to be a teenager.
Yeah, creepy. Once again, we're going to move on before you offend people.
Anyways, I'm excited for season 3. It comes out next Friday. This Friday?
Really?
Yeah, it's real soon.
That's exciting.
Wow. Smash Brothers pretty much announced their last DLC character of this pass.
Everybody's pissed.
And everyone's mad because it's another Persona 5 character.
No, Fire Emblem.
Oh, Fire Emblem. Yeah,
Sorry.
Fire Emblem. Sorry
Yeah,
about
you already
that.
had Roy Marth in the game, and you got like a girl or something.
Never played it, so it doesn't.
They have like 7 fucking Fire Emblem characters
Yeah, it's like
in the game.
Yeah.
You have some other
Someone has a hard
franchises
on.
to use.
Someone has a hard on for Fire Emblem, I guess.
No,
It's a
no,
Japanese thing.
No, like
It
They
has
shouldn't
to be.
add
It
that
is.
many Fire Emblem
It's
characters.
a Japanese thing.
Oh, I know all about that. Oh,
But
I
they all
definitely
kind
know
of fight
about-
the same, so it would be like having, well, here's Mario, here's Luigi, here's
Like,
Waluigi,
Ike is like a
here's
head- like a-
Wario, here's another guy. Like, oh, okay, enough.
I think if they put Waluigi in the game, he comes in like he's super Diesel because he's just so angry that he was like. I would make him the very last character to enter the game.
I wonder what the boss is. I didn't play the one on Switch. I'm not a big Smash Brothers guy.
I'm actually still working on the Spirit storyline. I don't. I like
We
the
were playing
Spirit.
it that one
Oh,
night,
for
Tom.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about a game called The Spirit. That's what I
No,
don't. What?
but they did announce that there's going to be 6 more DLC fighter packs. I don't know if
Jesus.
it's packs or fighters. So if it's 6 more characters or 6 more packs of fighters.
How much do you think that game cost in the end? Is it like a $300 game?
Yeah,
or
when
what?
you buy it all, yeah.
Yeah,
And then they'll make the gold edition for $60 that has them all in.
yeah. After
Like
you
Mortal
pay-
Kombat does that.
After you
Sounds
pay
about
for
right.
everything.
Bait and switch.
Any other news out there that you guys know of that you came across and you're interested in?
Tex Avery is going to be releasing. Well, on Warner Brothers Archive is actually releasing a Tex Avery collection on Blu-ray. If no one's too familiar with that, that's what gave like Screwball Squirrel, the wolf with the red
Whistling
head
Wolf?
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
Really?
I've never
How about
heard
Really?
of
Droopy? How about Droopy?
What about Droopy Dog? Yeah.
You don't know who Droopy
Oh
Dog
my
is?
God, Andy! What the fuck?
Can we name someone popular here?
Droopy is like as popular as it gets.
Is that
yeah.
that like Basset Hound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a depressed.
Okay, now who's
depressed-
down?
Tex Avery to me? It sounds like an anime.
No,
Oh.
definitely not.
No,
American
he was an illustrator.
cartoonist.
Yeah.
Oh,
American
oh, he was a
cartoon-
person.
Yeah.
He did
Oh,
like
he's
all
not a
those,
character.
Like,
No.
no, he's like a real like he did like all the goofy like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck shit.
Oh,
like it made it more
shit.
emphasized. Yeah.
Daffy Duck
Not to
shit.
be confused with Chuck Jones, who was a little more popular. That when he said the Whistling Wolf, like like the wolf with the eyes bug out. and they're,
Oh,
like,
that
this
one.
big.
That
That's-
Ooga.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and
Tex
like the
Avery.
I thought
And, like,
there was
the
a cartoon
redhead.
called Whistling Wolf.
No.
And like the
no.
redhead with the red dress on.
Yeah,
and too.
that's
Those
basically
exactly
from
that.
movie that I can't think of right now.
They're taking pre-orders right
Roger
now,
Rabbit.
and that's where I found on Nerdist.
Oh,
then, too.
okay,
I was like,
okay.
oh, that's pretty neat. You don't
Okay,
get
now
to
I know.
see those
See, I
very
thought
often.
it was an anime called
And I
Tex
think they
Avery.
did. I think he did George and Junior too. The 2 bears, the one big one,
Yeah.
the small one.
Yeah, he got passed around a little bit. I think he did a little bit of Tom and Jerry.
Okay.
He did a little bit of Looney Tunes. He worked for
all
everybody.
that was big like in the 60s and
Yeah.
70s.
No, actually, it's actually
40s?
early 30s,
Oh, really?
like
Yeah.
late 30s, early
Jesus
40s. I
Christ.
couldn't believe that. I'm like the quality animation of that. Like,
Yeah.
shit, that's wild.
Wow.
Cool.
And other news,
And other news, I don't even. I didn't even get like. Is a T-shirt? What's going on?
No, what?
What's like the?
A video collection.
Oh.
DVD.
Yeah, it's like 19
digital.
shorts, and they're unrolling. They're gonna do a second volume and all in too.
the talkies. They talk at them. That's what
He started going. I lost it. He started like I don't know. I lost everything.
Did you think it was an anime too called Tex Avery? And he's like some kind of space pirate.
I don't. This is.
I said Droopy. You're looking at me like, what the hell are you
Droopy
talking
Dog,
about?
you're like,
Oh, I know Garfield. You know, like
Actually, I just remembered one other thing because I was looking at Ben, and this is what popped in my head when I completely lost what Ben was talking about.
Let's see here.
Retrosoft Studios also said for Retromania they have been approached by a few different companies to do physical releases, like special editions, like you got River City Girls,
like probably limited run and all.
like
maybe.
limited run.
yeah,
So
he
they
said
have.
there's 6 different ones.
Yeah, so they've been approached by different companies to make physical copies too. So
That's maybe pretty cool.
Nice.
Like I like to see what route they would go.
I would probably buy digital for
To start.
to start,
Yeah.
and then I'd get a physical copy, probably for the Switch or Xbox, maybe the Xbox. I don't know. Maybe I want it. I really want it on the Switch. I think it's gonna be a great Switch game.
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to get it. And I have not owned a wrestling game since,
Probably WCW NWO.
that was the
wow.
last wrestling game I
Oh,
owned,
wow.
actually.
Yeah.
Crazy.
For those who didn't, he said WCW NWO.
You gotta
He's
move
really
more.
far away.
I'm just gonna assume World Tour.
I can't help it.
You're not big enough to reach.
Or Revenge.
If I
Or
scoot
Revenge.
in, you're not going to see Ben or Steve.
That's fine. That's fine. Listen,
So
I'm
you don't
usually
need
the big
to.
guy blocking everybody. Yeah.
There you go. Got it. No.
Put the pad on
take it
your
off.
lap. Put the pad on your lap.
Cut a promo the whole time.
Yeah, you could hold it like a fucking rock star.
I got that.
Steven Tyler. Just like this the whole time.
I love
He
it.
ties a bandana on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next episode. I'm put a bandana on that.
Please do.
I'm trying to find a full set here and I just can't find it.
All right.
Keep going.
You were bugging the hell out of me doing all those dice out there. The dice.
Anything else? Any other news?
I post a lot to the page, but you got that Sabrina one.
Yeah, I tried to pull as much as I could.
It's this Friday. I was like, wow, which is also like pay-per-view time too.
You got to put that down. It's too noisy.
No, it's fine.
He could just
No.
he could turn it off.
There you
and
go.
turn it
Crinkly
on when
old
he uses
man.
Yeah, you can click the
hands.
button every time you're ready to go. It's up to you. I don't care how you do it.
There you go.
I think Square Enix is supposed
You'd
to
be shocked at
releasing
how much of that
something.
doesn't come through on recording afterwards.
Really?
Like when you tap and stuff on it.
Yeah.
You don't hear it in post.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Square Enix is supposed to be releasing something for like a conference or something or other. I think it might have been for Nintendo.
Final Fantasy 7.
Something along those lines. Something that they're going to release. Just some games and stuff.
PlayStation is going to show the same 3 games for the next 4 years. I'm excited about that.
I can tell the enthusiasm, Tony.
You know what? I do got a video game one for you.
Go ahead.
Grand Theft Auto possibly gave
Oh.
away their second location. Not only is it going to be possibly Vegas, but they're saying somewhere South America. And at the company holiday party, they gave away pins for Jamaica. And they're saying that might be where they're going with it.
Wow.
That's
the
different.
Early reports were saying that it would possibly be going back to Vice City.
But that'd be
and
cool.
in Vice City, then you would go to a southern country, like you were saying. But they also said there are missions where it may take you back to Liberty City for a mission, and it may even take you back to San Andreas.
Yeah, why
or
not? That's cool.
Or yeah. So the rumors were initially was Vice City again, but then you would go to like Cuba and stuff like that. And the cool thing I was reading as well, if they do it, it'd be amazing. They want to carry over some of the stuff from Red Dead Redemption to the new Grand Theft Auto.
That's
so
interesting.
This game is going to span maybe a decade or two. So when you first start the game and buy a car in the 60s, and then you now are in the 80s or the 90s, and you keep your car in great condition like you took care of your horse, your car's value then goes up in price.
Oh, I thought you meant they were going to carry stuff over like storyline, like the characters from Red Dead existed in the same
No,
world
like
as Grand
items.
Theft Auto.
So if you
I was
have-
like, that's kind of cool.
if you-
They
own,
did
like-
that with the last Grand Theft Auto.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, some of the characters online were like descendants of
Oh,
other-
wow.
Did you
I
see?
didn't play that one
did you
at
see
all.
some of the? I guess it's like PC mods or something for that. Like the one where you can.
Somebody did the whole Vice City over. I mean,
Did you see where you can go and steal the space shuttle and go like into space and land like on
No.
the? You can land on like it's so cool, dude. You like go up, you steal the space shuttle, you get in the space shuttle. You can see the whole inside of the space shuttle. You go up, they're like announcing like the rockets are going off of it and stuff. You go up, you can see like the curvature of the Earth and everything.
Oh, wow.
And you fly to like Mars, and when you get there, there's like aliens there. You get out of the space shuttle and you like shoot the aliens, and then you get this thing, and then you can there's like the space stations up there, and it's so amazing.
That's crazy.
Some
That's
of the
crazy.
shit that
Bro.
people
Yeah.
were doing online, like there was people who built like giant MMO worlds on Grand Theft Auto Online with mods,
Yeah,
and then
it's
Grand Theft Auto
such
shut
an
them all
amazing
down.
game, man.
Like there was
Nutty.
people who literally played like cops and robbers on GTA mods, and like were like they literally took the Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, like the zombie mechanics, and put it in GTA 5, and like flooded the whole city with zombies. And like every time an NPC got attacked, it would just multiply. There was ones where they flooded the whole city, and like you went around the entire city on boats because it was flooded. Like
That's
you know,
awesome.
Yeah, some of the mods were unbelievable for that game. But yeah, there's GTA has a lot of cool stuff, and they also like there's some kind of filing they put. I'm not a big guy behind this, but supposedly in the file, like with the way they filed it, is that it could be announcing very very soon. Like it could be sooner than we even think.
Probably 3, right? You think?
Yeah. So it could be coming very very
Even
soon.
if it's just the title screen or whatever. Just
And
the logo.
Rockstar also said that they think 8 years in between games is way too long and
A
ridiculous.
little bit.
And they said they want to go back to like maybe not making a game every year, but
Yeah,
still
that's
putting
too
other
much.
titles out, like bringing back a Max Payne or bringing back a Bully.
They could do a different one every year.
Yeah.
Like how Bethesda, they take a while, but it's Fallout. That's
Usually it's every
Fallout,
3
those
years.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that'll be fine.
Well, they don't really do that with so much of Grand Theft Auto because they've milked that game for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Because they were like 360 version, Xbox One version, first person version now. You know what I mean? So, So yeah, it'd be really, really interesting to see when that comes out because obviously I will lose my shit over it. I'm a huge Rockstar fan.
Yeah, I didn't play the last one because I didn't like any of the characters that you have to play as. So I was like,
Which one? In Grand Theft Auto,
yeah,
the new one.
I don't want to play any of them people.
I thought the meth head was cool.
Yeah, so
I legit played the
Come on.
game differently when I played as different characters. Like I remember, if I was Trevor, I acted like I was reckless and crazy, and I did whatever I wanted. But when I played as like Franklin or or the other or Michael, I was like, oh man, I have to play this a little differently.
No,
It kind of gave you like a
Nice.
would you want
platform
to create your own
to do
character
whatever.
in Grand Theft Auto?
The only way I can see that is if. No, I don't because I like the voice acting and I think it would take.
But
away
they could
from the
always do
story.
like Saints Row, where they hire like the guy and the girl, and then you're Johnson. or
Saints
whatever, you know?
Saints Row's story is good because you're in a world where the story revolves around you as a person.
Yeah.
But GTA is so heavily involved on you as the character.
Yeah, but you could see, like, let's say, no matter what, you're Nico Bellic, but you can create what he looks like.
No, I'm not a fan.
Really?
No.
Yeah, but you're still the story is exactly the same.
But you're the
Asian
guy
Nico
the
Bellic.
guy you're creating. You're like, that's not what my guy would do because you're forcing me to do a story.
Well, they can't create stories for everyone's created character.
I understand, but I kind of like.
Saints Row.
Yeah.
You know, you make your character, and then you're the leader of the gang, whatever they call you, boss or whatever. I forget
Yeah,
what they call
but it's
you.
very generic. It's like one of those generic, like
Yeah, but that's what you
where I think Grand Theft Auto stands out because they do that. You're kind of that's where I think GTA Online is because GTA Online you
yeah.
could be your own.
See, I never
person.
played that. I don't care for
Yeah.
all
It's fun when you're with people. Yeah,
No, thank you.
yeah. Like if you gave me Arthur Morgan and I wasn't Arthur Morgan and I was me,
Yeah.
like a Wild West version of me, I don't think it would have been as impactful if I was not.
See, I always would rather play a creative character.
Yeah.
And go on the quest and everything.
Yeah, I just think it wouldn't have the same effect.
Like in Skyrim, you're Dovahkiin, but it doesn't matter what you look like or what race you are, but you still. But that story's really good. So
It is, but you're
That's
more
like
or
a
less you are
different way
part
to
of
go
the
about
story and not the story part of you. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think it could be done.
Yeah, I think it can as well. I mean, if anyone could figure it out, it could be Rockstar. When they told me that I was going to play as 3 characters in one game, I was like, this is going to be awful. And then I played, I was like, this is fantastic. So, we're going to start off now on the what are you into? We'll start with our guest. Well, not really guest, but your first, second crack at it here. We'll start with you. Oh,
As your phone breaks.
What do you got, Mark?
Watching. Me and the missus just started The Mandalorian. Watched a little bit of Monday Night Raw, a little bit of football.
Spoiler alert, there's a baby Yoda in it.
I saw.
Yeah, I wonder. You have to heard.
Not as interesting to me
Spoiler
as-
alert: Ash dies.
Not as interesting to me as everybody else made it out to be. I like the Western feel of it. Nick Nolte as I Have Spoken or whatever the hell his name was. Pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. I know he was in it.
What am I playing? Just started getting into the idea of playing Gaslands. Another tabletop game. Jump into that a whole nother time. It's too much to go with.
Is that the one where you get a micro machine car and change it like Mad Max?
Matchboxes, yeah.
Yeah.
Modifying.
That sounds cool.
That sounds fucking awesome. But I already seeing your little setup in the Malifaux, it just looks like a fucking money trap, and I just I can't
no.
live that kind
This
of life.
one's even better.
Gaslands isn't really a money because it's a Matchbox.
If it's just one car you got to worry about rather than an army, that ain't too bad.
Well, of course, it's not one car.
Yeah.
but it's like
army.
six cars.
Okay, but 6 cars is $6.
Right. Well, that ain't bad at all. Jeez.
And he has the rule book, and you can copy all the
There's
things
templates
you need
for like
right out of the book.
oh, okay.
Where do you
look
buy the
for
cars at?
drifting. Walmart.
Yeah, man.
It's just a Matchbox.
They're 94 cents.
Yeah.
Oh, you buy just a regular Max box,
Yeah.
and then you could paint it and shit.
You could on the
Beat the
bottom.
piss
I was
out
going
of
to
it.
bring them. You could pop out a pop rivet and take it apart, and then you could repaint it if you wanted to. And you can make shit with. I was talking to Ben last week about. It's called green stuff.
I'd be handing your wife like 6 Matchboxes. Do you think, girl?
Commission work.
Do you, boo boo?
So yeah, and I was going to actually comment on that too. I got that book. I'm pretty excited about it.
That sounds really cool.
I'm willing to try it.
Awesome. Get here. Do this, everybody. Next time you see a Matchbox display, get 2-3 cars.
Okay.
Spend $3. Get cars that you like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you even get them real weird ones. Remember those ones that look like a shark? Or the
Super
futuristic
weird,
ones?
yeah.
I'm coming with the Batmobile. I'm just putting that out there right
Sweet.
I have like 5 on my windowsill. And it's like the
Well-
Knight Rider car, a fire truck.
We'll do that.
I'm coming with the Batman and probably a DeLorean. And
I have the door. I never opened it.
And I'll get a bag of like machine guns and stuff, and then we'll take it from there.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Like
Yeah.
Twisted Metal, basically.
Not only
Yes.
that, I will start building terrain for it.
Nice.
So I will have
Nice.
the board covered for us.
That's cool. And plus, you probably could get battle mats too. I mean, well, not like.
Yeah. So we'll show after the
look
show. You
different.
should see some of these fucking boards that people make. It's fucking
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Anyway, that's what I'm
I
playing.
can imagine.
cool. Steve?
So I watched most of the first season of The Man in the High Tower on Amazon Prime. Anybody familiar with that?
No.
I heard of that. Yeah.
It's like if Japan and Germany would have won the Second World War
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
invaded the U.S. But I'm not going to say too much more than that. It's pretty interesting concept. But like
They don't
going,
make it past New York.
no, they do. They do.
They
Actually, it's divided by the Rockies. So, like, East America, east of the Rockies, is German occupied, and West is Japanese occupied, and then the Rockies are like a neutral zone.
I'd be like, I mean,
It's kinda like the Wild
I
West.
really don't want to see it in real life, but like, I feel like so many Americans own guns.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they wouldn't make it into Pennsylvania.
Yeah, no. No. It's totally true.
And then it would be totally.
Could I digress on this a sec?
Yeah.
Just read this. Don't know if the facts are 100%, but they asked Japan, while after bombing Pearl Harbor, did they not attack the States? And it's because of the lax gun laws in the United States compared to everywhere else. When you compare the number of hunters out there, state by state, Texas is like one of the second or third biggest militaries in the world.
Yeah.
That's not
insane.
counting Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania.
We would have some sick ass sharpshooters just sitting in tree stands.
Yeah. For sure.
Just
It would be
fucking
like-
people up. And then we'd be like, remember that time we said gun control? No, we lied. We like
Yeah.
you guys now. Make America great again.
Make America.
All right, listen. I'm not I don't pick a side. I hate Republican and Democrat. I think it's all terrible. But it would just be funny to see the other side. Like, oh fuck, we need them now.
The show has a really interesting concept.
I can't do shit with
pretty
this slingshot.
It was pretty cool. And so supposedly, and I'm not really spoiling anything, you learn in the first episode, and I watched most of the first season. I don't have an answer yet. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
But there's a film where it shows what the footage we know when we win the war. And it's like super secret film that Hitler's trying to get his hands on, and people are like smuggling this film underground. They don't know if it's real or if it's fake. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of the premise of the show.
There's a video game like that called Homefront. I think
Homefront,
it's
yeah.
when the
Great story, horrible game mechanics.
yeah,
sucks.
it was okay at best.
Yeah.
I think it was like Saddam Hussein wins or something like that.
No, I think Homefront 1 was the same thing. Was
Oh, was
Japan and Germany.
Okay, I have,
yeah.
I have the newer one.
Yeah.
I started Lost in Space 2 on Netflix. Did not like that at all.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was like we probably watched. Me and my wife watched like 4 episodes, and I was like, "This is
Tapped.
not doing anything
Oh,
for me."
man.
I kind of, it was so lackluster that I couldn't really remember the first season,
Oh,
and I
boy.
felt like I should have went back and watched it. But then watching a bit of the second season, I'm like, I don't even want to watch this. Like,
Oh,
so I'm not
jeez,
going
yeah.
back. And then last night, I watched the first episode of Netflix Dracula, and it's a little corny, but it was actually pretty good. I will continue to watch that. So
Is it like kind of like Witcher corny a little bit?
a little bit, yeah. There's a little bit of just a little bit of corny, a little bit. It's not too bad.
Think vampires and stuff. you
Right.
know.
Vampires are kind of
Yeah.
corny, yeah. Playing, so we got Mario Kart 8 as a family. It's not really new,
Yeah.
but new to us.
Yeah, that's
and
when I bought it. It was new to me.
the game is so awesome.
It is good.
So
I
awesome.
don't like how everything is unlocked basically from the beginning, except for the car parts.
Right.
It's like, oh.
All your characters are there,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, I got Wargroove. Anybody ever play Advance Wars?
Yes, Advance Wars. I have 1 and 2 for Game Boy Advance.
All right, sweet. So if you liked Advance Wars, this is like a spiritual predecessor.
Oh,
It's
okay.
by Chucklefish Studios.
a good name.
It's so good.
Is it?
It's so good.
I love that turn-based action. It's like
Yeah.
gets all tense and everything. It's like, it was
That was
really
a good game, yeah.
It is just like Advance Wars. Like,
Wow.
you know how you would come down and there'd be like 10 tanks versus your 10 gunmen,
Yeah.
and they go in and pop, 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 pop. It's the same.
Oh, that's
Like
cool.
cement, All right, I should probably stop.
Not Command & Conquer.
Do you
Okay.
remember Military Madness with
Yeah,
TurboGrafx 16?
absolutely.
I think
And
that's like where it
Metal
kinda
Marines
came
for
from.
Super Nintendo.
Yes.
I'm very curious in the people in the comments because usually once or twice a week, fucking Steve recommends like 3 games, and then I go and fucking buy them.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know if there's any. Like, do we ever do that for you guys or Steve or someone in the show? Where
Did
you're
you
like,
get Graveyard Keeper?
I did. I got Graveyard Keeper. I got River City Girls.
Nice.
And something else. Yeah, I'm gonna get like. I'm just curious if I'm the only one who gets suckered and not suckered, but I get ideas from you guys because you're awesome at selling a video game.
Yeah.
Like,
Thanks, man.
yeah, you're very good at giving a description without giving too much away.
I tried to get them at a good price too.
There you go.
It's a big deal. I got Wargroove for like $7, and that was totally worth
not
it.
bullshitting about Cuphead either.
Yeah, Cuphead.
That game is legit.
You
I
have
would
to keep
snap
going
my
back
Switch.
in. It's
I would
so
snap
good.
my Switch in half.
It's
so
hard
good.
though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super hard.
It's really
I'd
fucking
love
hard.
to play that game.
But it keeps you going back. Like, wouldn't you agree?
I know you weren't.
I had to keep going
I
back.
know you weren't here last week, but I know Jason's been offering us to come to his house to play his arcade cabinet.
Nice.
We took him up on it, and we went to his house and had a couple beers and played.
Nice.
That fucking cabinet's fun, man.
Nice.
We
Very
took turns.
fun.
We took turns playing NFL Blitz and NBA Showtime and NBA Jam.
Oh, shit.
Man, it was out of control. It was so much fun.
Shit.
Yeah, you got.
Sounds awesome.
You're welcome anytime. Man.
Yeah, it was really
Come
good.
on over.
No
That was
love
very
for
fun.
the Center Ice game with Wayne Gretzky's Center Ice or whatever it was
I
called.
have that too.
Wayne
yeah.
Gretzky's 3D hockey for the
3D.
N64 was fantastic.
We beat like 2 or 3 games that night.
Yeah, you played that Darkstalkers or Night
Night,
Stalkers.
Nice.
Night Slashers.
Night
Slashers.
Slashers.
And then,
the Moo Cows.
Yeah, the
Oh.
Cowboys of Moo Mesa when Tony was just like,
that's
he's just
awesome.
like, fucking, like,
That's
he's
awesome.
like,
He probably has Red. Do you have Red Earth on there? It's a fighting game
Yeah,
in Japan
everything.
with a lion
Probably
guy.
would have that on
If
there.
it's, I'm positive.
Yeah, it's only-
I
it was
probably
arcade
have it,
only.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a lot of shit.
That's wild.
The last game that I got was Grim Fandango, which was a late
Oh, yeah.
90s
Yeah, that's a
LucasArts
LucasArts.
point and click.
They gave that
adventure.
away for free on PlayStation about a year ago.
Yeah,
Nice.
same with
I
Xbox.
bought it for like $3.
Yeah.
So I wasn't. I already owned it on PC. I owned it like when it came out,
Okay,
and I
yeah.
bought it on Steam a few years ago. So it was like $3. I was like, whatever. It's a good game.
I was trying to play through that. I have to revisit that.
While you're there,
The
man.
controls are tough
Yeah.
nowadays.
Sure.
What are you into?
What am I into?
Little bit of that.
Every
When I
time
was
I
watching,
say it, I regret it. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go.
well, I started watching Symbionic Titan, the Jenny Tartakovsky like giant robot show.
It's like you. I kind of just muted it for a second. It's like you take a rock and you throw it down. Like you get a boulder and you're like, I'm gonna push it down this hill, and then you let it go and it keeps rolling and rolling. You're like, it's eventually gonna stop, and then you're like, oh fuck, there's a road down there and it's gonna hit a car. That's every time I segue to bed, I'm like, this is gonna be a fucking shit show.
Beautiful Katamari.
Yeah, it's exactly. And it's like the Adam Sandler skits. Like he just keeps going at the very end. It's like, I have no idea what you just said. All right, go ahead, Ben.
I have no idea what you just said. You just lost points in the Billy Madison debate.
All right, Ben.
But no, Symbionic Titan is the creator of like Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory, but they do like giant robots and like basically like this royal princess with a bouncer and a robot managed to get into Earth. Get to Earth, and they're trying to find them. Tony's just
Right over there.
it's pretty cool. Like it was just one of those like offbeat.
Never heard of
like,
it.
Cartoon
Did
Network
Did that
shows.
come up later?
What's that?
Like, because I'm a big fan of his work, and I was a big fan of Dexter.
That
and
was
even
much
Samurai
later.
Jack.
That
but
was
Samurai
much
Jack was later.
later.
It was
I
after
like
Samurai
Dexter.
Jack.
Yep, that was much
So
later.
what are you watching this on? Netflix? Or?
Netflix, yes. They have, I think, the first 2 seasons on there.
Nice.
So I forget how many episodes each season is. It was only maybe like almost like 30 episodes altogether. But, you know, people are saying, hey, we want this show back on. Maybe we might get Netflix to fund it. And
Do you know what I saw? February 1st. All Ghibli movies are coming to Netflix.
You son of a bitch. You
but-
stole my thunder.
but not
Get
in
the mic up in there.
But listen to this: not in the U.S., the U.K., and Japan.
Shut up.
I'm not kidding you.
So-
They actually,
So Africa gets it and we don't?
Yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna say,
they're like, we want to market to where people haven't watched it.
Well,
But if
then-
you have a VPN,
I was gonna say, get yourself a
you can
VPN,
just go.
say
and
you're from
fucking do
Morocco
it.
and watch it all you want.
Yeah,
That's
you know what the
bullshit.
Africans need? Giblets.
I don't know what the movies are.
I don't know either.
The Ghibli, we talk about it all the time. They're the Japanese Walt Disney movies,
Oh, okay.
essentially.
Oh, wow.
They're mega blockbusters over
yeah,
there.
Studio Ghibli.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's like Porco Rosso, Howl's Moving Castle,
Totoro.
My
All right,
neighbor
dude.
Totoro.
When they dub them over in the States,
Yeah.
they get like Billy Crystal and shit like
Oh, I
that.
think-
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton.
They had
Kirsten Dunst.
Michael
yeah.
Keaton.
Isn't that Dog Island of Dogs one of those movies? That
Nah,
just-
it's Wes Anderson.
No,
Yeah.
that's a
Another
little bit
thing.
different. Yeah,
But wasn't it supposed to be inspired by that style?
I believe so.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it is phenomenal.
And the guy's like 75, 80 years old, and he keeps coming out of retirement because he's just so pissed off that he's not doing anything.
Making 2 more.
Making 2 more. He's like,
year.
I'm fucking, I'm retiring. And it's like 2 years later, I'm coming back with 3 more.
Ozzy.
That's pretty much him.
Stanley.
But
Retire. Terry Funk.
then I was playing River City. I finally got my copy of River City
I
Girls.
beat it already.
Yeah, I beat it in like 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
Shit.
So
Pretty good?
Yeah, I got 40% of the trophies
Nice.
on that, which is nice.
How many times did you take a break to get one out?
Really, man? Really?
Actually, do
'Cause
you
ba- like-
have a job because
Yeah.
you're beating games in 2 and 3 days and watching all these
He works a
shows?
40-hour week job. He probably
Hey,
goes to the gym 4 times a day.
In defense, it's not a very long game.
Yeah.
He goes to work and the gym every single day, and
Except
then
weekend.
goes and binges like fucking 8 manga books,
Yeah.
fucking 2 Netflix series, and
Sometimes-
beats a game. That's
sometimes-
why I'm like, did you even jerk off the entire time?
Sometimes Ben reads like the manga ones that are like 4 issues of a comic or 5. He reads like 8 of them in like a day.
I fucking ripped through it, man.
That's impressive.
Are you just looking at the pictures, or
Yeah.
No, I'm reading. I've just gotten to the point where like I could speed read anymore.
And I don't sleep.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't.
I still
sleep.
get 7 hours of sleep.
because he's like, I
wish.
read 32
God, I
chapters.
wish.
I'm like,
I'm fucking nutty, man.
it's like
I'm fucking nutty.
Dude, I work 40 hours a
24
week,
mangas.
edit, produce, book, set up 4 shows, and I still find time to fucking beat my dick at least. once.
you gotta make time for what's
Yeah.
important.
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta fucking have your priorities, man.
Hey, relax. I'm getting there. Yeah.
That's what he's talking about next.
So what porn were you watching, Ben?
I watched some good porno. Let me tell you,
That's your new mission. You're gonna remember
No.
a porn and come back and tell
I
us.
was on Pornhub, and man, did I find some good ones.
what I see
You
in the
ever-
group chat,
All right.
world class ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever
Backdoor galore.
Did you ever go on like a site and then you see like a girl in one scene? You're like, this scene was not that good, but I like the girl, and you go and look up more of her movies.
Yes.
Do it all the time.
Yeah.
And then I
Yes.
get stuck on a girl for like a week. Yeah.
But only for a week, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
3
she's
weeks,
old-
I'm like, what was that girl's
Then she's old
name?
news.
Yeah.
Then I was grinding through. Yeah, what a segue.
Ben's thinking of that girl's name right now.
So played through. I jumped into Sekiro again because I wanted to play River City Girls and that at the same time too. Try and go half and half. And I got decently far in that game. Like the one section, I'm going to be fighting this guy that's like on a horseback. And what
Don't
you could
spoil
use,
anything.
And what you could use is I'm doing it anyway.
No, don't do it.
You can
I told you,
shoot.
Like
you
if
can
you play
shoot
a game, if you
a
play a
grappling
game,
hook.
if you play a game for fucking 3 months, it can't be the topic every week. Like
No,
unless
but I'm just
something
saying. No, I'm telling you, I'm
extraordinary
playing
happens.
it. Like you can actually grapple onto the enemy and like hit him and then do your thing.
yeah, you said the same thing last week.
Not only that, I actually upgraded a lot of my.
Yeah, that could. I've been playing
techniques.
Spider-Man, and I've still been swinging around the city, doing all the side quests. Oh, everything I've been doing for a week now.
That's it's a grinder, man. But whatever.
I'm just trying to save our audience.
I get you.
Ben didn't use the girl in River City Girls that does a stunner though.
Oh, he went with he went.
Kyoto. Kyoto.
Kyoko.
Kyoko.
I went with a
Misako.
dark-haired girl.
Yeah, that's Misako. She gets a stunner.
I was at Misako
That girl, the
for a
red hair
longer
girl, gets
time.
powerbomb though.
Yeah.
At a
I went with Misako first, and then I switched to Kyoko, and then now I have the boyfriends unlocked, so I'm playing through with the boyfriends.
Spoiler alert! If you beat the game, you get locked in.
Jesus.
I forgot to say, I've been
Spoiler.
playing Onimusha Warriors.
For 8 years now. When you're walking the game, you can hit the X button and search chests. Spoiler alert! I'm going to talk about that next week again. Search.
Maybe I will.
Search 14 chests.
Maybe I will.
I loved how that one week it went away, and then the week after that, he's like, I went back again.
to get the pots or something.
It's like, and they have this special move, and I was like, and I just fucking lost it. I was like, you Ben! It's been 5 weeks in a fucking row.
It's a good game.
Jason,
a good game.
Save us.
Oh no, I was actually gonna show movies I might watch.
I might watch.
Next time, Jason.
I mean, I mentioned it
See
last
this game? I might play that one day.
I mean, again, I'm watching stupid stuff. So I'm watching like Flavor of Love season 3. So I'm like,
boy.
yeah, I'm pretty far into that now, which is.
I watched a few.
Did you not see it
episodes of the first
before?
I saw like some of the seasons before that, but not the third one. So.
Well, how about that in New York, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's-
Spoiler: she's crazy.
Yeah.
one. Nielsen, yeah.
And let's see, on the arcade cabinet, I set up all the Odyssey 2 games, the Magnavox
Oh, wow.
Odyssey 2
Nice.
games.
Ooh.
So I got like 100 or so of those games, and man, they're shitty looking.
Yeah.
I mean, they do not hold up
A
well.
lot of them games back then sucked, but they're the only games you had. It's like, well, this is cool.
Like I was playing like Demon Attack on it, which I like, and I think like on Atari, it's
Better,
like better
yeah.
than Magnavox.
Wow.
Yikes.
And let's see. Oh, I did see that Mahoning's Drive-In. They start to announce their season for this year. What they're
Okay.
starting to. So it always opens up with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Wizard of Oz, the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate.
Oh, wow.
That's every year.
cool.
That's the movies they show.
I would like to
first.
see them in the drive-in again.
Then I saw they're doing like a Superman night, like the original
right.
Super, like one or
We
two
should
or
make it a
something
point
like
to
that.
all go up one night and do it.
And then the third one's the Mad Max.
Oh, I was just gonna say that. I saw
All
that one.
4.
Yeah.
All 4 of them.
I seen the newest one in theaters 5 times.
Damn.
That's a good.
It is
movie.
pretty good.
That's a good movie, right there.
I seen it in the Fractal Theater 4, and drive-in once.
Nice.
Did you do the Chrome?
What do you mean?
Did you watch the Chrome edition?
No.
Ooh.
There's a Chrome edition?
Oh yeah.
What is that one? Like more shit?
Black, white, and chrome. That's the whole thing's in black and white and chrome.
I'd watch that.
It's kind of
Kinda
like,
like a
you know
Sin
how
City
like
type.
you know
I'd
how
watch
like Wolverine,
I want-
Logan,
I want-
how
I
it went
want-
black and white.
I want part 2 of that. Like, bad. Of Mad Max. Like,
Did you play the video game?
Do you know how
Yeah.
much?
Great game.
Yeah,
Fun
not
game.
bad. A little repetitive,
But you're playing as Mel Gibson.
yeah, the old one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how much they probably spent on that movie? Like $500,000, and look the turn.
Well, a lot of it
turnaround
was
nuts.
the only time that it was really CGI was a storm. Everything else legit happened.
Oh, exact. Oh, I know. That's what.
This
That's
is why
really
we should
crazy.
play Gaslands.
Yeah, that's why I'm
I'm gonna build a war rig.
Also,
I want that big.
if we can work it out
Cadillac.
and we're gonna go to the movie theater, that should be the night.
Yeah, the Mad Max.
I
is
agree.
Definitely.
That'll definitely be fun.
So far, that's
the way the shows
And it's
are kinda-
cheap. It's not
the way the
much-
shows are
it's
structured.
super cheap, yeah.
I'm working hard now, so I have Saturdays and Sundays off.
yeah.
There is. I'm going to drop this a little. I think the Mad Max is a great idea, but they're also doing Alien one, and I'm kind of a big fan of Ridley Scott.
Did
Just
they
throwing
announce
out
that?
there. Not yet. They've done it the
okay.
past 2 years. though.
Yeah, yeah.
I know they usually do a
Love
lot of
it.
They
horror
do
stuff.
so many
A lot
cool
of
horror
horror.
movies. So this is a cool thing too.
Good segue, by the way.
First week of February, I want to just double check with him to make sure how many eyes could be on the product, because it's a thing. I can't guarantee everyone will be able to sit down for the interview because I don't know how many people he's bringing that are part of the movie. But the guy who is making the local horror movie Backwoods,
Yeah, I remember you saying about that.
is,
I thought it was
is
back.
Where
Back
a
Road.
backwoods
Sorry.
comes alive.
Back Road.
That's the
So
the cigar.
The premise is
The ones that look
it's
like
called
a stick.
It's
Yeah.
Back Road, and these people are. It literally looks like a school county. They're doing a booze cruise. They're drinking. They're driving, and they hit a kid, and the kid's part of this fucking crazy backwoods family, and they just fuck these
Now,
people up.
Is it located in
That's
storyline?
kind of like Texas
story-wise, is it
Chainsaw
located
Massacre
around
when
here?
they bring
Or,
up the hitchhiking.
I
or
don't
is it
know.
just
I don't
Random
know.
Town, USA?
I think it might be Random Town, USA, but it's shot around here.
Oh, that's cool,
It
though.
actually made local news because they left some of their props in the woods.
Yeah, you
to
said
come
they
back
look
the
like-
next day, and then somebody came across it and thought it was real dead body parts. And the cops got called, and there was helicopters circling. Like, yeah,
Oh shit! Wow.
but the I believe it's the first. It's the first Saturday of February.
That's the first, yeah,
they're
that's
gonna come.
February
They're gonna
1st.
come here around 11:30, 11 o'clock, 12, and we're gonna watch the movie and then sit down and do an interview.
Oh, they're gonna let watch it.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we're
that's
gonna.
neat.
So if you're,
Yeah.
I'll double check, but I'm sure he won't have a problem because you're part of the podcast team. Obviously, you just don't go putting everything out there.
Of course.
This is what
But yeah, like I said,
Spoiler alert.
if it's only him coming himself, then I would definitely have a few of you sit in and talk about it. I know Heidi's ecstatic; she's a huge horror movie psychopath. But yeah, it's something we can do, and that's something to look forward to. If you guys are horror movie fans, we're going to be interviewing them.
Yeah,
Real
so
nice to see Flanagan too.
Yeah, he's like one of the main killers.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah. Go
Yeah.
figure. It's Flan.
Yeah.
well, other than that, like Hearthstone, of course. Their new single-player expansion drops next week, so I already pre-ordered it. It's only like $20.
Is Hearthstone a combination of every Blizzard game? Or
It's
is it just
it's World of Warcraft characters in a card game. And I've never played World of Warcraft in my entire life.
I actually
I've never
enjoyed
played
World of
one game
Warcraft,
of it.
and when I do upgrade my laptop, I may sneak it on there.
Oh,
snap.
time.
But
A lot of time.
I've got to say, I've never, like I said, played World of Warcraft ever. But Hearthstone is probably one of my favorite games I've ever played in my entire life. It is so.
It's a good card game.
It's fantastic.
Is it easy?
Yes. It's going to be essentially hard to pick up a little bit because there's so many
Additions.
Yeah, and with each edition they introduce a new type of thing like that the cards do, like a reborn and stuff. I won't get into it, but
Yeah.
Is there a physical edition of that game?
not that I know
I don't
of,
think.
no.
I think it's
I
only
think they
on
just
mobile.
stay digital only. Yeah.
The thing about Blizzard, man, is they make such good games and they like stand the test of time. It's like,
Yeah.
think about how long World of Warcraft's been
I
out
could go
for.
back and play
It's-
StarCraft right
15
now.
years?
It's
I
like
think.
amazing.
Diablo,
they
all of
make
them.
games and they stand forever. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I mean, Overwatch is doing really well for them as well. Yeah.
but that's it.
Andy.
I've still been playing Star Wars, the Fallen Jedi, Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order. There we go.
Someone said they just did a patch to it to make it not like to nerf some of the hardness.
Oh, really? I turned it down to easy just to enjoy the story. It's way too hard and hard. I mean, there's guys that'll kill you in one combo. That's not fun. That's just. Ugh.
Ass beating.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm just dying
bad
left to
game
right. But if you
design.
play on easy, it's still challenging, but it's fun.
That's good.
So, I
heard the
recommend
story
get
is
it.
great.
Yeah, it is really good. BD1, the little robot droid, he kind of acts like a cat or a dog. It's pretty cool. That's your buddy that like rides on you and does all the slicing and everything. So it's fun, but just
Do you get
play
a
on
Baby
easy.
Yoda?
No, I don't think there's any Baby Yoda in it.
They're gonna make a Baby Yoda.
I don't know the timeline, like when it happens. I think it's like somewhere after the original 3. Or no, it's before. It's after Order 66. So the prequels. It's after that, but before Luke. I don't know. Obviously, this guy probably dies because he's never in any movies, or he gets frozen. So I wonder what happens to him at the end because he was never in the movies.
What if they unfreeze him and use him in movies because he's a real actor?
Yeah, they could. They could play the next one.
I heard rumors that they actually might ask
somebody.
Yeah, ask the actor who played in the Xbox and PlayStation video games, the
Force
ones
Unleashed.
the Force Unleashed games, to actually maybe make those into a movie. Cause
They should. That'd be fantastic.
They said they were great stories.
Yeah, they were. They're really good. The
Yeah.
Darth Vader's Secret Apprentice. And then I watched The Joker, so we can talk about that because you've seen it.
I did,
I
yeah.
thought it was very good.
Has everyone seen the Joker here?
No.
All right, so I won't get too crazy.
Yeah, we don't
into
have to do
it.
spoilers, but
I'm very conflicted with the movie.
it does stand alone, you know. So.
Yeah, listen. Now, regardless of my opinions of the movie, I did enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every time I bring this up to people, they're like, "Well, who was offended by this movie?" And there was a group of people who were like, "This movie is dangerous. This movie is not good. This movie can lead people to think it's okay to do these things." And if you're that person who watched this movie and said, "The world has shit on me so long, I think it's okay for people to do what they do, or I justify the fact that people lash out and hurt other people," that's not good. It's never okay.
I was thinking that though.
There are people.
I mean, I guess so. But then
That
if
movie
you watch
literally-
falling down, and like I agree with him. I kind of agree with him too. But like I'm not gonna go do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Psychological acrobatics.
Because there's some things, man. There's at points where you watch the movie and you're like, man, like you kind of are rooting for the Joker, like, and but you don't want to be because. Not only is he's not like this version of the Joker is just not your evil version of the Joker yet. He really doesn't even have his confidence.
Yeah, it's a very good becoming of a supervillain.
Yeah, but
Like origin story.
He literally just wants someone to accept him. Like literally, if someone just were to stop him on the street and be like, "Are you okay, man?" and just gave him a hug, it would have changed that entire. It would have changed him as a person. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if people were upset about that movie, I think a lot of it comes down to guilt. Because I think a lot of people look at... there's so many times in society where we see someone who's addicted to drugs or maybe has a mental illness or is going through some shit, and we look at them and just step over them like they don't exist as human beings. And then that person turns around and somehow gets their hands on a firearm or a knife or something and goes and hurts somebody, and then we just chalk it up to that they were just crazy. But in reality, us as society has failed them, you know?
But he was pretty crazy.
He was.
So you're saying the people that are scared of the movie should maybe hug people more often?
Yes, they should learn to treat each other better.
Yeah.
And a lot of the movie comes down to, like, we don't treat mental illness properly. Like, he went to his therapist and he was just like, you ask the same questions every week. You're just here to get a paycheck. You're like, you don't give a fuck about me. Like, you don't listen. And then she's like, well, just by the way, we're cutting funding. Like, that's a legit thing that happens too. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so then he wasn't getting his medication anymore. Like, there's a lot to this, that there's a lot to unpack here. But as the Batman fan, the entire time, I'm like, man, I can't wait for this guy to come and fucking correct this. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fantastic movie.
I thought the neighbor girl was going to be Harley Quinn.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, maybe it's that
great cool thing there.
What
too.
if Batman just walked in and gave him a hug?
Yeah.
It's over.
It sets up Batman though, so I'm like, wow, this is perfect.
Yeah, it does. I have a theory, but I don't know how true it is, because now I'm hearing rumors that, I don't know, maybe someone else heard about this article. I didn't see anything about it. Did Robert Pattinson get scrapped as Batman?
I don't think so.
Someone told me he did, but I don't. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the way that for me, everyone's like, well, who's your favorite Joker? And I've said this on the show before. I think every Joker that we've had on screen has fit the Batman that he's played against. Mm-hmm. I think Jared Leto's Batman was good for Ben Affleck's style of Batman. I think Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson were perfect. I think Christian Bale and Heath Ledger were great together. I think this younger Robert Pattinson and an older Joker, because he's not a very big man. He's very frail. He's skinny.
Which the Joker usually is.
And this Batman's not a muscle-bound dude, so he could be more of like your John Wick style. Like he could put a new style, a spin onto Batman where he's not. He could blend in more as a normal person. So I'm holding rejudgment, because Batman Beyond's not a big guy either.
Yeah, but then he's not Bruce Wayne.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm open to the idea of, let's see how Robert Pattinson works, but I think it would be a cool dynamic to see Patterson and this style of Joker possibly clashing together.
I seen the picture where it's like Robert Pattinson on some book, and it's like Gotham's Bachelor or something. He would be a much better villain, because I want to punch him in the face when I see him.
Well, most people see Bruce Wayne, they want to do that because he's an arrogant, good-looking prick.
Yeah, but not to the point. Like, I don't want to punch him because he's rich guy. I want to punch him because he looks like a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
I don't think Bruce Wayne.
Most people
Wayne
would-
is a
but
douchebag.
are you
Most
just
Wayne.
associating that with the whole Twilight
No, 'cause
thing?
I've never really seen Twilight. Like,
Yeah,
it's
but
a
you
picture of him,
know.
like,
But you know.
It's already
Yeah.
it's already
It's already in there. You're
Yeah.
already tainted on
but he
it.
just
But
looked like
realistically,
a douchebag.
realistically in
Like, he'd
society,
be a better villain.
realistically in society, you would see a Bruce Wayne on a cover and be like, "Here's this fucking kid who's been handed all this fucking money.
Yeah.
Fuck him." That's how society would look at him.
Yeah, but
and they
like-
would be the perfect cover for being a fucking superhero. Especially
guess so.
because back then, that's not how society's seen rich people. Like, people seen rich people and were like, "Oh
Kings, yeah.
Joker's mother. He's going to help us.
Yeah.
He's rich. He has power."
But she
Nowadays,
was insane.
Nowadays, we see rich people as lower class citizens. We're like, fuck them. They have everything and they
Yeah.
don't help us.
Yeah.
But realistically, he maybe he's portraying that, and now he's. I just think this new style of Batman can tweak the character a little bit to play in today's modern society with this style of Joker and rich versus. And I think it would be a great dynamic.
Yeah, but that's
It would be a good way to start a universe.
yeah, and this Joker don't connect though. That's like what they're saying. It's like,
Now,
I don't buy
I
it.
disagree.
but that they don't.
This Joker definitely plays in. This is the guy who made all the other iterations of the Joker. He happened, and it's always in the back of the head of everybody else.
So you're going by the way the kind of the way Gotham did it. So they don't credit that guy to being the Joker of Gotham. He created the idea of the Joker.
yeah.
Essentially.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah,
Because even in the comic
that
universe,
kinda makes sense.
there's 3 versions of the Joker.
There is not, but they never really talk about it. So like, it's kind of like, here's this idea we're going with, and then they never explain it.
Yeah, they kind of just banned
So
it.
it's like, it doesn't really exist. So I,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they will get to it eventually.
Yeah.
I also just read an article that they're talking about.
Because Joker 2 is happening.
But yeah, they,
Yeah,
what they do
they're talking about him being the Joker in the Pattinson.
Yeah.
because it's just made so much money and everything.
Yeah, well, it makes the most sense.
yeah,
But will he do it?
yeah. That's the
Joaquin
thing.
Phoenix.
That is going to be the trick
Yeah.
because
He's
he's
kind
more
of
of
a
an
loose
art
cannon,
guy.
right.
He's
Yeah.
not a. I'm not in it for the bank. He did it because it was a good role.
Yeah. I think it would be cool if DC kind of did 2 different universes.
You can, yeah.
Because they're kind of starting to salvage the not Zack Snyder universe, but that style, because they've now included the movie Arrow into the TV Arrow. So
No,
like Flash. Yeah. So now they're like, oh shit, this is a thing. So I mean, and Harley Quinn's movie's still going on, and they still say that Joker's there, but now he's dead. But is he dead? So you can still bring that back and have 2 different universes going that don't really collide with each other, but it'd be fun. I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause the CW shows are going fine.
Yeah, and I think it's a good way to maybe
And
tie.
they're going to have a Superman and Lois show. They greenlit it.
Yeah.
Not just the pilot, but the whole first season. Season.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. But yeah, I think if he agrees to it, I think that would be a good way for Patterson's Batman to maybe get some thread here. Do I want now? I don't want another origin story of Batman. Please
Nobody
do not
does.
put that on camera again.
No.
But
to death.
maybe do Patterson's a newer Batman, because he has a hard time putting the muscle on. So he's not a veteran grizzled Batman here. He's a young kid coming through his steps now, and I think that would be the best way to go about it.
The Batman who constantly screws up in the beginning because
Yes.
he's not got
Year
his
one.
footing yet.
The way the Batman begins should have been.
Not he was an awesome ninja.
Yeah. I mean, maybe even go through like, hey, he went through his training, but now he's still like, don't put him with fucking Ra's al Ghul right away. Because could you imagine if fucking Ra's al Ghul came immediately after Batman and he wins?
You gotta
Come
fight
on.
some jobbers first.
Exactly. You got to fucking.
You
go
mean
through
you're
some
talking
shit.
more along the lines of like the mafia and like
Because
the,
you have
the gangs
you have
and
a
all.
brand new fucking Batman who's coming in against a brand new Joker. When they fought in the comics, they weren't both polished yet. And they
Of course they
both
weren't.
made mistakes, and it both led to that's what I want. I want 2 unexperienced people kind of figuring things out. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be cool.
But DC's not going to give you what you want.
Yeah.
I have hope.
You could hope.
There'll be
I have
somebody
hope.
else.
You could hope.
There'll be some brand new guy as the Joker in that Batman movie. Or no, it'll be some stupid villain or something.
They
but-
won't even go. They'll be like,
That's the problem with this Joker. He's not killing for any real reason.
towards the end.
He wants to see chaos. Yeah.
Yes, he enjoys it.
Yeah.
He likes the fact that people are.
Like first he's just getting
He's
people
building-
that wronged him, but then like at the end it's kind of like, okay, now he wants.
He likes he's
chaos.
he's gaining confidence, and that's the scariest part about Joker. He gets confidence in what he's doing. It was a fantastic movie. There's a scene where he is kneeing a dumpster, and from what I've read, in that scene, he legit he knees a dumpster like fucking 4 or 5 times, hard as fuck, and hits the ground and immediately grabs his knee and starts fucking crying. It's legit happened. He dislocates his knee in that scene. And then hobbles down the stairs. And then they're like, oh, he legit dislocates his knee in that scene.
All right. I know it's in all the promotional stuff, but that scene where he's coming down the steps, there's a part of you that's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because he's starting to gain that confidence.
It's a legit
Yeah,
scene.
cheer
Like,
shit
I know they
up. Cheer shit
used it and used it and used it, but it's legit.
Yeah. There's an apartment scene where he gives us the Joker.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck. Like, this entire time, he's a vulnerable, mentally ill individual who doesn't have a rhyme or reason, has nothing to go for, and something happens before this scene, but you're like, he's getting confidence in himself, and that turning point happens.
Because he's off his medication.
Yeah.
He's like, I feel much better now.
Yeah. And it's crazy because this entire time I kept asking people who've seen the movie, I'm like, if they removed every aspect of Batman and Joker and just put a movie out of a mentally ill guy, would it be a good movie? And it would have been.
Yeah, it's called Taxi Driver.
Yeah, it would have been. But because they add that Batman element and that universe in, that's when that flip switches. That switch, you know, and you're like, oh, fuck. He's not just... You don't see him as a vulnerable, mentally ill, possibly mentally challenged man anymore. You're like, this motherfucker's calculated. And it gets scary. It gets real scary. It's crazy. It's a must watch. I think it's a must watch movie.
It makes me want to see more villain origin stories.
Yeah.
Done well, I guess I should say.
Yeah. And then I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Watched it, fell asleep, woke up at the end, and then when Heidi went to bed, I rewatched the parts I missed. I'm not going to say anything. All I'm going to say, fantastic movie. Not Tarantino's best, but it was a great movie. Fantastic. I finished that TV show, The Circle. That social
Oh
experiment.
man, yeah.
I'm telling you, watch it. You'll be fucking hooked. And this girl Sammy in it is really good looking. But yeah, I finished that, and then I watched the Aaron Hernandez documentary. If you followed the story all the way through, it doesn't. You're not going to get a smoking gun that you didn't know before.
Did he do it?
100%.
How do you know?
He 100% did it.
How? You got to sell me.
So their defense was some guy just got a drink spilled on him, and then he went out in the streets and shot 3 people. It doesn't make sense. But he's also the same person who just fucking killed his best friend. The same person who fucking, because a bar owner told him to pay his tab, he fucking punched him in the face. He was a guy who was trying so hard to be everything he wasn't, that he overcompensated, and he lived a culture where he thought he had to be the toughest guy in the room and the scariest guy in the room. I 100% think he did it.
No.
Why would he hide that car? Oh wait. Did he kill his friend, or did he kill those 2 people in the car?
Did he kill any of them?
100% kill those people.
There's no physical proof, though. There's always a reason to doubt. Even if it's 1%, it's there.
Well, what will be the 1% doubt in the man and his friend that was murdered?
I'm not arguing that he wasn't there. Definitely was there. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no gun.
He was holding a gun in his house when he came back.
Yeah, he also had like 30 or 40 guns, they said, though.
And then he texted his wife to get rid of a box, and she destroyed evidence.
That could have been anything.
Come on.
Okay, I'm not saying... Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not saying... How do you know one of his buddies didn't pull that trigger and he was getting rid of the gun because it was his gun?
Because I don't think either one of those friends were the muscle to the operation. I think he had to be. He just came off as that personality. He had to be the guy who did the work, and he had to impress the people around him.
I'm not arguing that. I actually 100% agree with you. I'm just saying, convince me.
And then why would he hide the car for that long if he wasn't part of that shooting? I think he was 100% involved in that, and I think 100% he shot that other dude in the face. And he was fucking terrified because he went to his coaches like, "I need to be traded out of New England because I'm afraid." Because he fucking shot someone and they survived, and that guy had just as many guns. It was just as crazy as him, and he was scared that guy was going to come back and get him.
No arguments.
But also, I don't condone everything he did, but also when they studied his brain, he was a 23-year-old man. And his brain was fucking destroyed.
Like Benoit.
They said his brain was almost to the level of Chris Benoit. And Chris Benoit died when he was what? 30, 40?
I think late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah.
And they said his brain was like an
Sounds
80-year-old.
about right.
He was a 23-year-old kid. And his brain was almost as damaged to that level.
What happened?
Football.
To him? Oh, really? Wow.
Wow,
Jesus
is
Christ.
right.
Every time he got hurt from high school through the NFL.
Not even high school. He's been playing football since he's probably 5 years old.
Well, they're saying from his first concussions, roughly.
Yeah. But you don't even...
They were hitting him with juice to keep him out there.
Really? Oh,
no
God.
matter what.
Yep. Listen, I love the game of football, but I really strongly feel it should be... Something needs to change, and I don't think... Like, I understand, obviously, a sport has to grow to a certain point where they can get to the level of like a college level or a high school, you know what I mean? But like, I can't condone fucking putting a helmet on a fucking 8-year-old kid and have them go out there and do that.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
a little like even wrestling people out, wrestling.
But wrestling
no one
is so much more controlled.
Yeah, but no one trains unless they're 18.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I thought you meant like high school wrestling.
no,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking like pro wrestling. Still, like it's all laugh at wrestling, but yeah, no one's getting hurt.
Yeah,
you're young.
I don't know. It's definitely a fine line because it's so built into American culture that it will never fucking change. But like, it's scary. It really is because like you don't realize how much damage you're physically doing to your brain. At that, like when you're training mixed martial arts, you can't fucking do any head combat in karate, anything until you're 18, 20 years, because
Yeah,
your
see?
brain doesn't stop developing until you're at least 20, 23 years old. That's why they're trying to stop cigarette smoking from at that young, because your brain is not developed yet.
No.
It's very interesting. And then I played a little bit of River City Girls, and I didn't get very far. I'm still in the school because
It's a little hard.
this podcast, and it is difficult. But that's all I have. I'm going to check the camera here, but we're going to jump because this is not doing anything. This is just sending audio there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know
Oh
why
my
it
God.
stopped. But I probably bumped it with this cable. But
Just broke the chair.
No, this was the chair that guy broke last week. Son of a bitch.
Was he a rather large gentleman?
What's that
all
dude's name?
these chairs are scary. Don't sit back on it.
Shit.
These two might be.
Oh, we got some refills.
I'll get you a chair.
No,
I'll
I'm
check-
good. I'm good.
If you fall down, I'm going to laugh.
I forgot. Like, remember that?
On camera, so you won't sue me if you fall.
Yeah.
It's coming up over.
Remember that guy? What was his name on the Bag and Beers? He's the one that broke it. Remember?
His name was-
Scott.
Scott Sharpie.
Yeah.
Oh, his name was Tiny Johnson.
Listen,
weighs
these-
583 pounds.
These chairs you can't really twist on. For some reason, they just go.
And like these folding chairs, if you lean back, sometimes they'll start bending.
Yes.
And they'll eventually break.
So we do.
That one's broken too.
Fucking Jack too. This is like setting for disaster.
Don't-
That one's probably just as bad.
Take him to PPW and say, "Hey, here's some weapons for you."
I probably should.
Yeah.
Well, they'll probably take them too.
Absolutely.
That one's broken too.
one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Look at it.
That's the one bent back in.
No, the one that Jason was sitting on
I
was
swapped it.
I was gonna say I'll
figure
sit in
it
that
out.
one. That one's not.
Well, you can give him that one if you want to just move your jacket over. Oh, there's shit on that chair.
I'm good. It'll make for an exciting show.
All right. I actually broke one on camera one time. It was embarrassing.
Oh, this one's
I remember that.
That's all right.
I'll get you a chair in 1 second.
I remember
that's
when you
cool.
broke your
That's
first
cool.
chair. That was
It was embarrassing.
wow.
And like, well, I didn't feel fat until I broke a chair on
You're like,
camera.
oh, I broke. The
I
chair.
broke a wooden chair at my mom's
wow.
house leaning back one time. I was like,
I wasn't even leaning back. I fucking
Really?
twisted and the whole fucking
Oh,
thing
boy.
twist like a pretzel. All right, so we're gonna get on to D&D.
I was gonna say, what a good segue.
Oh yeah,
Twisted
actually,
like a pretzel.
Do your let's start opening that and talking about the
Definitely
things.
snacks and drinks first.
Yeah, do snacks
before
and drinks.
before I open the bag.
Yeah.
So there's
Or open the bag.
the
I'll be
pretzel
right back.
Pop Tarts. That's cinnamon sugar and chocolate.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to go upstairs for a moment.
All right.
I'm gonna go say hi to Heidi.
Okay. You know why?
I'm just kidding.
And we got Fruit Loop here. So.
Definitely doesn't have a bra on.
Oh my! So I heard the pretzel ones are pretty good, but not pretzely enough. If that makes any sense at all. So we'll
I'm
some
kind of
pretzels.
psyched for these.
You can take one out if you want. You just have to.
I'll tell you what, they're really packed with calories, man. Like they're like, well, I know. If there's something quick, I mean,
If you're watching what you're eating, then you ain't eating. Oh my God, you ain't eating Pop Tarts. The wooden chair sits back crack.
I know. Like,
So I'm gonna crack open the cinnamon sugar. That's one I want to try the most. It looks like a little pretzel.
hell yeah.
I'll break part off and pass it down. Take,
Yeah, I just
take as
wanna-
much as you want. There's more.
Peace, son.
I'm curious about the Fruit Loop.
Yeah, it smells like pretzel. Well, I guess it is technically a pretzel, but no, it's supposed to taste like Annie Ann's cinnamon pretzel. What do you say? I agree with the guy. It's not pretzel-y enough. It kind of tastes like a Pop-Tart.
Needs more salt.
Yeah.
for a first attempt,
It ain't bad.
not bad at all.
No.
I like it.
No, we'll move on to chocolate. Which
Not
probably
really getting a pretzel taste though.
Yeah.
No.
It kind
little
of just
bit.
tastes like normal Pop-Tart.
It does.
I mean,
Yeah.
like a wheat Pop-Tart, if that makes any sense.
I mean, it's a little bit salty, but other than that,
Yeah, it kind of just tastes like a regular Pop Tart.
yeah, man.
It's a little darker.
Maybe they just burnt that one.
Yeah, no pun intended.
They make like Pop Tarts in Muncie, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They
So
should
this
bring-
is this is the chocolate one now.
So
These might be pretty good in the toaster. Your toaster just got hotter. Sweet and salty pretzel, you go mind blown.
Hang on, Steve.
Just lean forward. I'm not that good with it, Steve. Whoa.
As we crack open the chocolate one.
I'm good.
I like the chocolate one.
Good on this too. It's very tempting.
You know what the chocolate one tastes
forgot.
like?
Which one is this?
Chocolate.
Pretzels.
Yeah,
is
pretzel
one.
chocolate, and that's pretzel cinnamon.
You know what the chocolate one tastes like? Like the chocolate icing, but not as sweet. Like on a cake.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but they're not real pretzel-y.
Yeah, that's kind of like a
I tasted
disappointing.
more with the cinnamon one.
Yeah, but I like the cinnamon more and more. The chocolate one's okay.
Each one I can grab here.
Yeah, here's a chocolate one. You take as much or as little as you want.
Done?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Take the whole thing, and this is cinnamon here.
That's pretty good.
That boy's gonna eat both.
So and then we'll crack open Fruit Loop.
That's
Hell
the one
yeah.
I'm excited about.
So when I was little, I thought that all the Fruit Loops were different flavor. They're all the same flavor, just different colors. I was a little disappointed.
Oh man,
Yeah.
why'd you do that to me?
Spoiler, Andy.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
for Fruit Loops that have been out for 50 years. Oh, look at this! There's a little bow tie on it.
Yo,
I thought it was Toucan Sam, but oh shit! Oh, there's difference there. There's Fruit
That's
Loops.
awesome.
Let your dog in
These are
there.
really falling apart here. There, I'll just take that one.
I just want like a little piece of it.
Chocolate's fantastic.
Oh my god, they smell like
It is. It's good. The pretzel's real, like subtle.
remember
It's not
half
like
of them.
over pretzel, just a little
Pass it
pretzel.
this way.
out off the table here.
I only want a small piece of that. I'm not a huge Fruit Loop fan. Just give me a small little.
Thanks, Ben.
Oh, that's
Oh wow,
that's
that
right
smell.
on point.
Wow, I love. Wow, wow.
This smells
the
like
smell
Fruit
is
Loops.
amazing. Wow.
It smells very
like
strong. It smells like you just open up a box.
Cinnamon sugar is better.
The Fruit Loop one is right there.
It tastes
Exactly
like
That's
the-
good.
Tastes exactly like
Yeah.
the Zero.
Whoa, yeah.
very lemony.
Yeah.
I'd like a beer like that. A Fruit
think
Loop
they
beer.
Tutti fruity
I'm sure they
freaking
do.
beer.
I would drink that.
I like the cinnamon one the best. Fruit Loop one it seems like it's
Out
very
of
sweet.
out of the pretzels, the cinnamon sugar is better than the chocolate.
yeah, I agree.
Wow.
I like that Fruit Loop one the best for sure.
And these just came out.
If you hate the sound
2
of
days
people
ago.
chewing, I apologize.
Yeah.
Just probably hit the 30
Nom,
seconds.
nom, nom.
The skipper on this part.
But the Fruit Loop one is pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
real good.
Natural fruit flavors. Wow. So there we go.
Someone have the rest of that.
3 Pop-Tarts. Which one's that chocolate?
Very good.
Fruit Loop.
That was nifty. I
Fruit
like
Loop?
that. Yeah, I'll have a little bit more of the Fruit Loop.
No, Fruit Loop. I mean, it tastes just.
Here's
It
my
tastes just like Fruit Loop. but
here's
I
my
thought it
big
tasted-
question, Andy.
it's
Where do you
real
get a Gatorade for 24 cents?
Okay, so
Don't hold out.
Giant.
Big
Yep.
lots.
now when the Giant mark stuff, when they reset the shelves, right?
Yeah.
When they get rid of certain flavors or have too much certain, they put it in the back and they mark it down 75%.
Wow.
So that's why it was 24 cents.
That's awesome.
In the back of where?
The dumpster.
where you'll never see it.
Well, back when
Just go root through the dumpster at
so
Giant. You'll find them.
in the Cressona, in the frozen aisle, they wheel out this wagon, and that's where all the deals are on. But then, of course, people are like 24-cent Gatorade, and then people lose their mind by
All of it, yeah.
Yeah, and there's other stuff like crackers for 64 cents. And,
Wow.
I got 2 things of toothpaste for $1.52.
Nice.
So it's all stuff like that. So I'm always there when the lady puts it out. She's like, "Look what I have," and then I just follow her out. I'm like, "Doo-doo-doo." I got a Keurig machine for $44 one time. That was the big score. So
Not how much?
$44.
Nice.
Marked down 75%.
Nice.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Water.
Wow, look at you.
Water.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I didn't want to like agitate my throat because I was like coughing.
Oh my god, my acid reflux over this past weekend. Oh,
Bad.
I woke up this morning. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna force myself to puke, but I had nothing to puke up, so I just puked up all that acid. It's awesome. I feel so
Bile, yeah.
fucking good afterwards.
That's rough though.
Sometimes you
I'm gonna
gotta
have
do
throat
that.
cancer in 3 years. It's gonna be great. So let's just get it all out of the way now.
Yeah, you haven't
Just
smoked.
work real hard at this podcast, and then by the time we make it, I'll have throat cancer, and then I'll get sympathy views, and then I'll pass the money off to you guys.
Get famous off your GoFundMe.
I'll put your kids through college. your kid will probably be out of college by that point, Jason.
That doesn't roll good at all.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Are we?
All right. The history.
Dim
of,
the lights.
Yeah.
Get out the candles.
Call Gary Gygax, or is he dead?
The
He's dead.
history of
Is he really?
dominatrix.
He died
that was
around
Wonder Woman.
2000.
That was 2 weeks. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
Before you do start, Steve,
Go ahead,
Tony,
Ben.
may I have a Lorchetti?
May I have another Pop-Tart?
I was almost gonna say that.
If you want one, you can have one. Cool. because the Fruit Loops are a little too sweet for me.
All right.
Like I like them, but
Anyway, one of each to try. Try.
yeah.
Sure.
Hey, go ahead.
I won't take the Pop-Tart. I won't take the Pop-Tart one though.
Oh,
Before the show, I had mentioned, for the viewers at home, before the show I mentioned that I didn't really realize how big D&D was to me until I did my research for the show. This is going to be a little lengthy. I'm going to try to just hit the points that are important, but I feel like there's some stuff here. If you don't know anything, you're going to know a lot. So, Dungeons & Dragons is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game originally designed by Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax. It was first published in 1974 by Tactical Studies Rules Incorporated.
TSR.
Which I will, from the future, call TSR. And it was bought by Wizards of the Coast in 1997. Wizards of the Coast was really popular at the time for Magic the Gathering.
And Pokemon, too.
Yes, it was. And Wizards of the Coast is now a subsidiary of Hasbro. So, D&D, I'm also going to call Dungeons & Dragons D&D.
Yeah.
D&D was born from miniature wargaming as a variation to the 1971 game Chainmail.
Real quick, Andy, can I take a picture of your sack?
Oh, sure. The bag of devouring.
So it was originally a variation of a 1971 game called Chainmail. It was, and that serves as the initial rule system. They kind of enhanced upon it and made it their own.
I knew that.
It's a departure from wargaming. It allows players to create their own character rather than using military formations to fight an opponent. There's two roles in Dungeons & Dragons. There is a dungeon master, which I will call a DM, and a player character.
Sometimes they call
PC.
it the GM. It's like
that's a good general over.
Yeah.
In D&D, it's DM, but in like any Star Wars, it's a GM. So a DM, their job is to kind of play referee and a storyteller while maintaining the setting and playing all the inhabitants inside the world. The player character, or PC, and the PC, the player character, interacts with each other while solving dilemmas, battling each other and other people, gathering treasure and knowledge, and gaining experience points to become more powerful.
To level up.
So, D&D starts in 1974. I'm going to go into the history in a little bit, but I kind of want to explain how the timeline works. In 1974, D&D is born. In 1977, D&D splits two ways, and they have what's called the basic D&D and AD&D.
Okay, they're advanced.
And it was made for two different types of people. Anybody could pick up the basic. The rules were kind of dumbed down.
Okay.
AD&D was if you played basic and loved it, you could like graduate up to AD&D, or if you were just a more intense gamer. So they split two ways. What's interesting is basic D&D ran alongside D&D for a little over 2 decades.
Yeah,
as its own thing. Right. So they split in 1977. In 1989, AD&D's second edition is released, and Basic's still over here doing their thing. And then in 2000, when Wizards of the Coast bought it, they came back together and just made it D&D. It was third edition initially. And then they did a big revision, 3.5 in 2003. So 3.5 gives birth to the D20 system, which is really big. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. And also 3.5 was also the beginning of the open game licensing thing, which I'm going to get into as well. It's really important.
That's that book that I have.
Yeah. Fourth edition comes out in June of 2008. Fifth edition was released in 2014. Fun fact, estimated 20 million people have played Dungeons & Dragons.
Wow.
And they have more than $1 billion US in book and equipment sales.
That's crazy.
So that doesn't include anything else, just the books.
And Vin Diesel wrote the foreword in that one special one, which you probably have that one, the leather-bound one.
I don't have
that. Oh,
really?
That
was.
Yeah, you could buy all three of them, the player's handbook.
That's really cool.
I like it.
They had like silver on the. Oh,
it was
they
beautiful.
look so nice,
They're beautiful books. I'm going to talk about the mechanics a little bit. So you would have a character sheet. Every player character has a character sheet, and on your character sheet you have ability scores. 6 main things happening: your strength, constitution, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. You would also have a choice of your race, class, which is another way of saying your job, an alignment, which is how your behavior is with the other player characters and inhabitants for the DM. And then your hit points are also on there. Along the lines of mechanics, we have dice. So we have a D2, which we don't have. You would divide a D6 by 2.
Yeah, or flip a coin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A D4,
Which is the classic. Oh, no, D4 is the triangle.
I like to call it the caltrop.
Yeah.
Step on one of those.
Yeah. Or a pyramid.
Are they just as bad as a Lego?
Yeah,
Worse.
They are, yeah. They're pretty
Worse.
because that's like, it's very pointy.
D6, which is the classic dice everyone knows.
Yeah, it's a normal.
A D8.
Right here, the diamond.
Yep. D10.
Which is, wait, that's
That's a 12.
Oh, that's 12. Right here.
Yep. D12.
And then that's the big hexagon thingy.
A D20.
D20, that's the main one. And then you got your percentile.
A D100, which is a 10. And then there's another 10-sided dice that's counted by tens. So you roll the two together to get that
That's
100.
this one, and then whenever you roll, there we go, 50, because it's a 0.
So when you're starting out, you use your dice.
Or 5, sorry.
I'm sorry, not when you start. You use dice with your ability scores to achieve things. For example, like a D20 might be to hit something, where a D8 would represent your damage.
Gotcha.
When a PC has no control over the event, there's something called a savings throw that's used to determine whether damage was reduced or negated completely. Over time, the player characters gain experience and wealth, and it's part of shaping your character. Alignment shifts and multi-classing is also possible. So, you just start killing children, you might have an alignment shift per the Dungeon Master. And then, like I said, multi-classing. So you could be a level 8 fighter, and you're like, you know what, I want to get my hands in magic. So you'd be level 8 fighter, level 1 magic user. You could do it any way you wanted.
Sorcerer, whatever. Sometimes there's penalties, though,
Yes.
depending.
Yes.
And sometimes there's not. I don't think Pathfinder, I don't think there was. But
There's 2 different styles of playing D&D. This is very, very broadly, but you have modules, or you could write everything yourself. I've always been a little lazy. I prefer modules.
Ravencraft, is that what Ravenloft?
Ravenloft was a campaign setting.
Yes. But that had like modules in it. That was always a really good one.
So I brought a couple examples for everybody. These are all like starter ones. This is Treasure Hunt, first level character.
This is all second edition.
Castle of Caldwell and Beyond.
I remember this one.
And the Keeping to Borderlands, which is extremely popular. And I'm just going to kind of keep passing this stuff out.
So what this is like, it's kind of like a guidelines for
it
the
would
DM.
have everything that you needed, except for like the way that the characters, the non-player characters might act. You would do that yourself. You'd have to if the old lady on the porch, if they choose to interact with her, that's on you.
Yeah.
It might actually say what her attitude or demeanor is, but
For the main storylines, what weapons drop. Art will say to use the table in the DM guide.
yeah, for drops, absolutely. And then there's
Never seen it.
so you have the modules and you have self-written. Also, there's one-shots, which would be you sit down with your buddies for 4 hours and you play a game and it ends. Yeah. And there's also a campaign, which continues over time. You sit down maybe once every week or bi-weekly and play D&D. Really popular campaign settings by TSR would include Greyhawk, Dragonlance, Forgotten Realms, Mystara, Spelljammer, Ravenloft, Dark Sun, Planescape, Birthright, and Eberron.
I liked Eberron.
It's a whole bunch
Eberron's
of
pretty
stuff
good.
going on there. Wow.
Eberron had the golems and it was like it's a steampunky technology.
Andy kind of stole my thunder a little bit,
That's okay. You got some dice there.
but this box is actually important in a moment, so I have that. So the original D&D, 1974, it required the chainmail miniatures to play. So chainmail was like its own system that existed. By 1977, the combat would be resolved verbally. They kind of did away with the miniatures early.
Oh, wow.
The miniatures they use a 25 millimeter
pog.
scale. It's 2 pogs taped together. That is OG, like 10-year-old me
Yeah.
taping 2 pogs together.
Awesome.
The minis use a 25 millimeter scale, which is the same as my Malifaux models. Just for reference,
Okay.
it'd be the same scale. You know what? I can do this. Hey Tony, I'm totally gonna bend this just so you know. I'm like going all out. Here's my Turtles tackle box. All this stuff's pretty much OG, just so you know. So here's some minis. You guys help yourselves.
Oh, I see a bone dragon. I see a bone dragon.
All right. Now I'm going to talk about the history for a moment.
Oh shit! It is a bone dragon.
So in the very beginning,
It's called a Dracolich, Ben.
I don't know where to put it.
the stuff is on the
I just
bottom,
gave it to
by the
you.
way. Whatever it is on the bottom.
Fedor
guys just-
Drakulich.
You guys just
17 out of
became
16.
way too nerdy even for me.
Are you? Here comes the history. So in the beginning, there's a gentleman, Dave Wesley and Dave Arneson. They played Napoleonic war games together. Mr. Wesley joined the army in 1970, and Arneson began a medieval variation of Wesley's game, where the players controlled individual characters instead of armies. Arneson used the chainmail to resolve the combat. And then what Arneson did to Wesley's game was he added the classes, the experience points, level advancement, armor class, and some of the other keynotes that happen. So Arneson,
some of them, so I can take some photos.
Okay, take a picture of Drist.
Arneson,
Name
Show
on
him
the
the
bottom.
bone dragon. Yeah, I like
It's a
the bone.
Draculich bit.
Arneson and Gygax, Gary Gygax, they worked on a game together called Don't Give Up the Ship. And Arneson invited Gygax to his Blackmore game that he was playing in his basement, and they created D&D together after that.
That's awesome.
Gygax is often credited as being the creator of Dungeons & Dragons. There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Controversy over that.
Gray areas.
I will kind of get into it, but I kind of wanted to leave some of that because there's like documentaries about it and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Arneson is, in my opinion, Arneson's kind of the creator, but Gygax took a lot of the steam for it. For anyone that didn't know, I mean, it was weird in the 70s, so it's obvious to us, but there was a very strong Tolkien influence at this time. There wasn't a lot of things like it. But they cited like hundreds of other things that it was influenced by: Lovecraft, Crowley, stuff like that. So
Here you even have a metal one here. That one's pretty cool.
I'm going to talk about additions.
Looks like a halfling rogue.
1974, original D&D was a tiny wooden box with 3 books inside of it. It was a really amateur production, and it assumed the player already knew how to play war games. So it wasn't super user-friendly at first. It sold 1,000 copies in its first year, which 1974, and 1975 it sold 3,000 copies. And these are like made out of a basement, so it was kind of a big deal for them, yeah.
How much is one of them wooden boxes now?
A lot of money. A lot of money.
I've never even seen one.
It's a lot of money.
There's one that she paid.
And then the additions, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, they separate paths. So in 1977, you have the D&D Basic Set Box Edition. Where did my lid go?
What do you mean?
All right, so this is an example of, this would have been a 90s version of it, but it's the same version essentially of Dungeons & Dragons. So they made this boxed edition, which would have had, it was almost packaged like a board game. It would have had everything that you needed inside of it.
Yeah, there's a set of dice, like starter dice, the full 7.
There would have been one full set of
sheets,
dice.
and then a little instructions on how to play. Here you go.
So, unfortunately, the guts to this box got lost to time, and this box got lost in time. But I could kind of piece it together. So this is an example of what you would have had. Here are your character cards. Because it's the 90s, it came with a CD, had some audio tracks, background music, town map, and there's more character cards here. My wizard spellbook and the cleric spellbook. And again, this is super generic for somebody who just picked up the game and just wanted to get started.
It's very simple.
Super simple.
Yeah, they kind of dumb it down so that way it's a good entry level. There's like a map to battle.
Yep.
Oh, look
And,
at that full
There's the Harrow Hill map.
They're 5-foot squares. and
1
that's-
inch.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you're right,
How
the
you
5
move
foot.
Your character,
Yep.
you're based on 5-foot movements.
Yep. So then you had your rule book in the box. There's like a couple different boxes in this pack, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. And then you had your Dungeon Master guide, because that information got to be kept a little bit separate.
Wow, yeah.
For the Dungeon Master.
They used to sell the 3.5 one at Walmart, actually.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I got a lot of this stuff at KB Toy Store.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool characters you want me to get a picture of?
Yeah, hold on. I'll give you a bunch of big monsters.
I'm going to load this table.
Put it this way: Are you going to beat
Portal. We got
Are you going to beat me with the Nintendo stuff? With
Yes, I am.
Dungeons- Oh,
Yes, I am.
Ooh.
I wanted to put the map down first, and I got lost here. I'm actually putting up my Dungeon Master screen. Watch this, man.
I'll give you a couple big guys.
Watch this. All right. Getting back to it. Yes. Perfect. Just as I wanted. Okay. So you had your box set. It was cleaned up rules. It made the system understandable to the general public, and it was sold in a package that could be sold in toy stores. That was a big deal for them. Later in 1977, AD&D was published. It was marketed towards a hobbyist gamer, and TSR marketed Basic as an introductionary game that once you exhausted your possibilities, you moved on to AD&D. Here we have my AD&D Player's Handbook, my AD&D Dungeon Master Guide,
That's cool.
and this is my variant cover. This is my monster manual.
Oh, okay.
I had that.
wow.
Did you?
I think I have that one. Yeah. Because I have the one.
And I'm not trying to
advanced
gloat,
monster manual.
but this is like not even a scratch of what I own. I just brought like examples.
Did you have this pre-packaged?
Yeah, like yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
From 1977 to 1979, the core books released. That would have been this.
Real quick, how old are some of these books I'm taking pictures of?
From the
70s, yeah.
Late 70s?
Easy. Most of them, actually.
How common is it for someone to still own this?
I don't know. I guess it depends how sick you are.
Wow.
There's a lot of like nerdy people that are really into tabletop gaming that have all kinds of stuff like this.
Sure.
And I always describe to people it's a RPG video game on pen and paper.
Yeah.
That's the easiest
Yeah,
way to
it kind of created the RPG video game. And there were many supplements released in the 80s. Notably, Unearthed Arcana, which included a ton of revisions.
I remember that too.
It's a good cover. It had a ton of revisions and new rules that would play into your AD&D campaign. There you go, camera.
That's what a monster is.
So AD&D though, the problem was as they kept releasing these things, it got a little bit confusing with the material, and some of the rules contradicted each other. This was like an ongoing issue in this edition. The D&D box set remained the same, and it was a healthy seller, and it stayed in production until 1979. In 1981, the basic D&D got revised by Tom Moldvay, and there was an expert set by David Cook expanding the rulebook. So this would have been like the box set stepped up almost. You guys sick yet?
No, I'm fucking digging the shit out of this. I'm liking this.
In 1983, Frank Metzger revised these rules to a more tutorial format. Again, kind of simplifying it a little bit more. His book was followed by a book called Companion in 83, Master in 85, and Immortals in 86. And it was kind of based off how you leveled up, you'd like move into the next book almost.
Oh, okay.
Immortals being like God tier, you know what I mean? All four sets were combined in 1991 as a single hardcover. It was called the Dungeons and Dragons Rule Cyclopedia, and it was released alongside a new box at that time.
I'm going to start handing you back some of these. You can put them.
Mark, you mind handling that for me? Just put it on the floor. AD&D Second Edition is published in 1989 as 3 rulebooks.
1989. Oh, that's the black ones.
I was about a year
Yeah.
old.
So I have all mine are a little banged up though.
We have, these are my original copies. We
Wow.
have the Player's Handbook,
Wow.
my Dungeon Master Guide, and my Monster Manual. The way that, I don't want to get ahead of myself.
And it's weird because like back then it was always Monstrous Manual until I think 3.5. There was Monster Manual.
Right. Well, there was a Monstrous Compendium, which was originally the way that this edition handled it. They released like almost like a magazine, and then there was a binder that you bought. I have all this stuff
Okay.
too. I just didn't bring it. You get the binder, and then you would get, I think there was 4 or 5 monster compendiums, and they would just go in this loose leaf binder. But then as time went on, they compiled it all in a notebook and made a monster manual.
And nowadays you can get a sweet D&D app and just it's all on your phone.
That's the 4th edition. So the primary designer for this was David Zeb Cook. They call him Zeb. The binder I touched on, that was replaced by the Monster Manual in 1993. In 1995, there was a really big revision for 2nd edition, and it's when they included the player's option manuals, which are also a really big deal.
Oh, they're like the softcover ones. So I have the Paladin and the Ranger.
So here I have Combat and Tactics, Spells and Magic, and then my personal favorite, Skills and Powers. This took 2nd edition and made it a little bit like 3rd edition, but at a time, obviously, 3rd edition didn't exist. You would specialize in things, or like character kits in here. Really big promotion of the settings beyond traditional fantasy at this time. So like the Ravenloft was like a gothic horror. Spelljammer was all in spaceships and shit.
I never played that ever.
And then also Dark Sun. Which
Dark Sun. I don't.
completely post-apocalyptic. Still
Oh,
very
wow.
D&D. It was really heavy on psionics.
Oh, okay. I love the Psionic characters. I bought the first Psionic book that got released.
Where'd
It was
the
unofficial, expanded
go?
Psionic
Like
handbook.
the
Oh,
Books are
wow.
super weird.
That's weird. Yeah.
Do you have the books that were with this set? Like I want to.
He wants to check out the AD&D.
like the old school ones. Yeah, because they're the ones I had.
They're awesome.
Yeah,
Now, I'll talk a little bit about Wizards of the Coast. So
yeah, shit's
Advance.
awesome.
It says by Gary Guy. No, I didn't. With the
you could just leave that on this pile. I don't know.
yeah.
So in 1997, a near bankrupt TSR gets bought
Give
by
me that.
Wizards
Give
of
me
the
that.
Coast.
That one's yours.
No, it's all right. 3-year development, and third edition is released in the year 2000. It folded the basic box set and AD&D back into one game, and it was also the largest revision on the rules to date.
Wow.
This is also the birth of D20. So what TSR had done was they took this major revision and they opened it up to anything.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
I have 3.5 with me. I do not have the regular point, which looks almost exactly the same. Actually, no, wait. Is this?
Somebody totally stole my Dungeon Master guide, but I have my Monster Manual and my Player 3.5 handbook.
Oh, I have the softcover one that came in the player's
Oh, nice.
box.
Nice.
I did have a hardcover one, and someone stole that. Because if you did play with unscrupulous D&D players,
It happened all the
they would
time,
take
man.
Books.
I have stuff. I have some stuff that isn't mine, and I
Right.
also have things that I don't
Yeah,
have
I mean,
anymore.
sometimes you wouldn't know. You'd be like, okay, I'll see
Right.
you later. And, you know, but
I have like 4
so
of these.
really
Player handbooks.
I
yeah.
want to get
Wow.
a hardcover one because I don't. I do have the Book of Exalted Deeds and Vile Darkness and all that.
Talk about
It's the
big
same-
dick
it's the same
energy
ones
here,
all.
Steve. Wow.
I'm swinging it.
Wow, you are swinging it hard like a mace. Jesus Christ.
So the D20 thing, they opened the rules up to for anyone to use. It was also tied kind of in with their open game licensing. So the system was available for anyone to use, and everyone started games. A big one to note would have been like Pathfinder was a big
yeah, we
deal.
play Pathfinder a lot, and that core rulebook's like that big. Mine's so fucked up from
Who
playing
made
it
the
so much.
revision in there?
Yeah, by Dave
I don't know.
McDuffie.
I don't know who that
gotta
even
get a
is.
picture of that.
That's really funny though.
Yeah.
You probably have something rare there, Steve. There's a Dave McDuffie that was like unknown.
You guys are side railing me.
Sorry.
So third edition was designed to be more consistent and less restrictive, way more flexibility to create your player character the way that you wanted to play it.
Yeah,
Skills and feats are introduced.
And
That
they
was a big deal.
separated races and classes. Like
Yes.
you weren't just elf or rogue or like,
Dwarf was
yeah,
both
yeah.
back in the day. Yeah.
Half orc.
So there was a lot deeper customization. In 2003, 3.5 is released. Hundreds of changes. A lot of them were minor, but then they expanded the core books. Fourth edition, and this is where it gets really interesting. So I started playing in second edition. That was a big deal. That was a big deal for me. And third edition, I'm in high school, so I totally bought into that. Fourth edition, I stopped fucking caring.
Yeah, we played it a little bit, but we were still playing 3.5 real hardcore. We played this, then we went back, and then Pathfinder came out, and we played Pathfinder from there on out.
Pathfinder, and I'll get into that too. But they used the open game licensing and just kept third edition going.
Yeah.
because there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good edition.
It's
Is there still
3.75.
people who are like World of Warcraft, or like we only still play first edition?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So in June 2008, 4th edition, the core books release. In my own words, never playing it. It's streamlined. You have to remember that at this time in 2008, like World of Warcraft is huge,
Yeah.
and I feel like they catered to that audience.
Yeah, and it's like you still have your character sheet and you still have your moves and stuff, but you have like cards.
Right.
So you have like daily
They represent
powers.
powers, right.
And then your per fight powers, and you flip the card. So it's kind of
Right.
like adding their Magic the Gathering with D&D.
Yes, almost turning it into a
I'll
board
try
game.
and get some cards here.
Also, a really big thing about 4th edition that was kind of changing of the game, it had a really heavy use of software tools, and the miniatures and the playmats were a big deal. Playing with the minis again became like a big thing for the game. And then 5th edition. I've also like to note I never did play 5th edition.
I played it once or twice. They tried to go back to 3.5 and get rid of the cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like the bridge, like kind of, okay, we went this way, now we're going back this way.
Well, from what I understand, 5th is kind of it's a little bit more has the original edition in heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It isn't bad. I only played it like, I think 4 times.
The thing to chap my ass was that 4th edition, I like the role-playing aspect of it. And not that I like dress up and shit, but
Yeah.
by the time that rolled around, it was really heavy on rolling dice and moving the miniatures around.
Yeah.
Like I said, almost like a board game. It kind of got away from what D&D is to me. So fun fact about 5th edition, they opened playtesting, like completely open playtesting. There was 75,000 playtesters for 5th edition, and then that was released in the second half of 2014.
And then with 4th edition, a lot of the old school people that were hardcore in 3.5 and 3 did not like 4 at all.
No.
And that's why that's why Pathfinder got so big, and then that's why they tried to bring it back with 5th edition.
Yes, and I'm kind of with that. 2nd edition and 3rd edition are two very different games, and I will use them. I love them both, and I would use them both for two very different. It depends on the people I'm playing with and what they want. Because 1st edition, if you had Find Traps in 3rd edition, Ben has Find Traps. He's a thief, level 4 thief. Okay, Ben, roll a 20. Add your ability modifier. He rolls a 36. Okay, it's successful.
Yeah, you found the trap.
In AD&D, you had to like pour water on the ground and watch if it goes in the cracks and if you could hear it like going down into a deeper tunnel. Or like there's a joke about the 10-foot pole. Like it was a thing that a lot of people had in 2nd edition where you would like poke ahead in the game. You would role play it, talk it out.
Blind person, so you wouldn't die.
Exactly.
So they kind of it was more hardcore. So for very good reference, AD&D is Dark Souls, and then 3.5 is Dragon Age.
Yes, actually, that's pretty good.
Okay, I understand that reference.
Yeah. So, and then a little bit about the acclaim for Dungeons & Dragons. I looked up the awards that it had won over the years. There's too many to name, honestly. It was, it's often recognized as the first game to implement dice as a game mechanic for role-playing, that is. The character sheet, numerical attributes, and the game master player group dynamic. It's the birth of that. I
like the whole time you have the DM screen up.
I had to. It led to a lot of releases, like, for example, Tunnels and Trolls in 1975, the very popular Empire of the Petal Throne in 1975, and Chivalry and Sorcery in 1976. The even more popular games some of you guys may have heard of. Traveler was a sci-fi in 77. Rune Quest, 1978. Call of Cthulhu, 1981.
Hey.
Champions, 1982. GURPS was really popular in 1986. And Vampire Masquerade, 1991.
Yeah, I played that once. That's
Plus Star Wars.
Yeah. I have the small ones, which you might be pulling out right now. I have 3 of those. The core rulebook, the little black ones.
Oh, yeah.
And Scum and Villainy. Oh, not those ones. So I have the Vampire Masquerade.
I have Vampire Masquerade, and then I got Star Wars.
That's the old school. Then you know how they made them like the small and like elongated books?
Yes.
Like that's the ones I have.
So it's my Star Wars. Wizards of the Coast released Star Wars. It was under the D20 system.
Star Wars is pretty fun.
It's super fun.
I played Vampire at first. I forget. I was a Bruguera, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's funny you remember it.
Yeah.
Dungeons & Dragons had a massive impact on video games going forward from there. Like we kind of said, it invented that style.
Plus, they had their
Game.
own video games too. Eye of the Beholder.
Yes.
There was one on.
Arcade
I think there's one on Atari, but it's very basic.
Yeah. Well, even what was that game called? Was it Dungeon?
I think
on 2600.
Yeah, but I thought it was just
Venture?
Dungeons and
Adventure.
Dragons.
Thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
Adventure. Yeah.
There was a Venture, and then there was Venture too.
Yeah.
I don't remember Venture.
Venture had like the little like guy that he was like a smiley face and he had like a little like crossbow or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You had to like get a key, and a dragon would come after you.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So I got a fun quote here from John Favreau. He credits Dungeons & Dragons with, quote, giving him a really strong background in imagination, storytelling, understanding how to create tone, and a sense of balance.
Yeah.
It does make a whole lot of sense too, because you really have to have a really good dungeon master, to really bring everything out. Like,
it's all about that.
If you're not a shitty DM, then the game's not.
If you don't do your work ahead of time, you're just reading from the book. It's not. It's shit.
And like,
do you have a safe word when you play this?
No.
No.
Why would you need one, Tony? You sicko. Early in TSR's career, they took no legal action against third-party development, but it changed a lot in the 80s when they started making money, of course. This angered fans and led to resentment from other gaming companies that were putting out the product at the time. An important thing to note was that they settled out of court every single time. They never followed through in any lawsuit. So try to say it wasn't about the money.
Also, this sidebar, Tony, this Vampire Masquerade is where Gangrel got his name from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's a
Oh wow,
there's a race of vampires called the Gangrel.
Oh, wow. Cool.
that's really cool.
And,
I didn't know that either.
The open game licensing. So what happened? I kind of touched on it. TSR creates 3.5, and they say, okay, the rule set is free for anyone to use. This is to contradict what I just said about TSR.
Yeah.
Rule set is free for anybody to use. You can't use Beholder. You
Yeah.
can't use Lich. Like, those are ours, but the rules are whatever you want to do with them. So this is where, like, Vampire the Masquerade, Star Wars, those things come in. In the 2000s, there was a really big phase in D&D called the old school revival phase.
Yeah.
Fuck the revival.
This is where you get things like what they did. Like Labyrinth Lord is basic D&D,
Okay.
and they, because of what I said earlier, like how some rules contradicted themselves, stuff, they just put it all in one book, and it's a lot easier to understand. So you have Labyrinth Lord, and then this is like my holy Bible. This is AD&D.
Okay.
Osric, the old school reference and index compilation.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
But it has, like, when we the last time Mark and I played with a group of friends, we used this alongside with the AD&D books. I kind of let this out for the player characters while I used all my D&D books, and they're pretty darn close.
I never seen these.
So there was also, I'll speak very briefly on controversy, especially in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
the Christian groups said that the game promoted practices such as devil worship, witchcraft, suicide, and murder. In those old monster manuals we just had out, there are naked breasts and drawings of humanoids, not humans. Mainly harpies, the succubi, or succubus, succubi.
Their tits are always out.
Right. And then second edition, those black books, they removed a lot of those things. They removed words like devils and demons to try to appease those people in the mid-90s. Funny thing, Wizards of the Coast buys it, they put it all back in.
Yeah.
It's the third edition, that's all there.
Get some photos of that.
Oh, okay.
There was a gentleman named James Dallas Egbert III. He disappeared. He and his friends reportedly played Dungeons and Dragons in the steam tunnels of the Michigan State University, where they went to college. His parents hired a private investigator, and the private investigator believed that, like, they were live action role playing in these steam vents, and that he was killed by his friends. What happened was he actually ran away. Okay. He had serious mental issues that he was dealing with, but it put D&D in the spotlight of everyday households and put a really bad name on it. This is where Mazes and Monsters comes into play. If anyone's seen that awful piece of shit made-for-TV movie with Tom Hanks.
No.
It's based on that story.
I think you
Biggest
have a
of shit.
you have a total
Even
bias
bigger than
towards
the
that.
D&D movie.
Yeah, it's a bigger piece
Yeah.
of shit than that, and that's a piece of
pretty
shit
bad.
too.
Wow.
It, like, you see what I brought, and like I said, this isn't not a half of it, but I had a lot of blowback even at home with
Really?
this. Yeah.
Wow. And you think, like, nowadays people would be like, oh, it's just a game.
You
know,
think.
but in the 70s, that's...
So, and then also, so that was in 1988, there was a guy called Christopher Wayne Pritchard. He murdered his stepfather and told the police that he and his friends mapped the steam vents of the North Carolina State University, furthering the stigma. It just made it worse. It was like 2 or 3 years after that. And then also under the controversy, I have a note about the lawsuits regarding the royalties between Gygax and Arneson. That went on for years. It ruined their friendship. Gygax ended up selling his ownership interest in the company in 1985 to kind of... He went all in on it, and then he was like, ugh.
And I'm out.
Right. Related products. This is my wrap-up.
I know they don't talk about it. You didn't mention it in there, and I don't know if they even say it, but Spielberg movie just came out, the Ready Player One.
Yeah.
If you read the book, it kind of does the Gygax and other guys falling
Arneson.
apart.
Really? Wow.
It kind of covers that story roughly. It's more in the book than the movie, but
yeah. So just to play, you would need the player's guide, the DM's guide, and the monster man. That's it.
Yes.
But then they're like...
You actually don't even need those. Mark and I have played with literally dice.
Yeah.
dice
A pencil's important,
and
paper.
a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's it.
But the core books...
Your semen sample.
Your own semen, yes. The core books are encouraged. It's
Yeah.
encouraged.
And I think it should be said that these games can last literally forever. They
Years.
can last for years
Sure.
and years and
There's
years.
still... I just read an article. There's a team of people playing, I want to say, since AD&D. they're still playing the same game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's crazy.
like the Dungeon Master is pretty much their choice on how.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's kind of it's a group,
yeah, if you're
decision for sure.
sometimes you want to do a different campaign setting, or
Well,
I ju-
let's talk about the irony of the memes out there. How many possible futures did Doctor Strange look through in Avengers, and how many of them lined up for D&D? One.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Doctor Strange?
He's a sorcerer. He's level 20 sorcerer.
Is
Come
he
on.
level
Yeah,
20?
he was the
Made
dungeon
by
master.
Steve Ditko.
So some related products. Dungeon magazine.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
ran for a very long time. This is a 3rd edition
Look at
copy.
the Mind
of Dungeon.
Flayer on the cover there. That's cool.
Throw it right up there on the thing.
Dragon magazine. Dungeon magazine was meant for the Dungeon Master. Dragon magazine was meant more for the player character. This is actually a pretty old issue. I'm not sure the date.
This looks like, I'm off the top of my head, 86, 87.
Here's another. This is excerpts from Dragon magazine, the best of Dragon. It spawned
86.
It spawned a mildly popular cartoon series, Dungeons and Dragons, the animated
Mildly
series.
popular. Now, they re-released that, and you got one cool little mini with it.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
The movie series that I don't even want to talk about.
It's horrible with the Wayans brothers. That's enough. But
Yep.
if you want to see a good movie, what's that D&D one that I have? It'll come to me. You continue.
And then they released soundtracks, which would basically be like tavern noises.
Which,
or
you ever play with one of them going?
Sure,
They're pretty cool.
I
It
strongly
adds to
believe in it.
Yeah.
You need it
Because you can just have it on repeat.
Yep.
and-
Oh, my favorite is dripping water and all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, when you're in the
Cavern,
cave. Yeah, yeah.
That's what you are on a podcast talking.
It spawned very successful novels, namely the Dritz Duarden
Yeah,
series.
yeah, by R.A. Salvatore, who
Right.
also wrote, what's that video game that Kurt Schilling did, Ben? Kurt Schilling, the baseball player, did a video game. R.A. Salvatore wrote the story for it
No,
because he was a
I
big
don't.
WoW fan. Kingdoms of Amalur.
And it also spawned a very popular video game series.
Oh, wow.
on the
Look at
computer. So Baldur's Gate 2,
Oh, yeah.
Icewind
Wow.
Dale, Temple Elemental Evil, and Planescape
A
Torment.
lot of these just got re-released, too.
I used to play Dungeons and Dragons Champions of Norrell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good game.
And Return to Arms. Loved it.
That's a good game.
I am looking for Return to Arms, the second one for PlayStation 2. If anyone has it and they don't want a lot of money for it, hit your boy.
They were good.
Yep.
Were good.
The only ones I have are Dark Alliance. I like those, though, too. I mean, it's a hack and
what was
slash,
the one
but
for? I forgot. I should have brought that for PS2. Is that Dark Alliance with the where the half?
the Necro's in it.
Yes.
It's a warrior, a sorcerer, and then
Archer.
a dark elf rogue.
There's the Archer's a Dark Elf.
That sounds like Dark Alliance 2.
No, it's not Dark Alliance. It's something else.
They had some
I have it.
Dungeons and Dragons arcade games too. 'cause
Yeah, there's a
2 of them.
Mystara one that's super
Yeah.
Shadow
good.
Mystaria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got all those.
That's like basic Dungeons and Dragons if you really want to compare it like game wise.
There's a bonus for you, Ben. Because I went through all this stuff and I was like literally going through all of it, I found these. I thought you might appreciate it. This is my Robotech. To go back on your episode, my Robotech books.
That's cool.
From the 80s.
Oh, there's also
You're like Nardwar, the human Serviette, but for me.
Dungeons and Dragons Heroes for Xbox. That was fun. I have that.
Well, you never get the reference,
you.
Tony. You'll never get
I
it.
actually know who that is.
That's
Holy
awesome.
shit.
Yeah.
Wait, Nardwar, isn't that from a cartoon?
No, he's an interviewer.
He's an interviewer. He like interviews like rappers and like some like
Is that the guy
punk
who
rock bands.
interviews? He interviewed Henry
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 Rollins,
Rollins,
and
yeah.
Henry
Henry
Rollins
Rollins,
was
Henry
like
Rollins,
a
like-
huge piece of shit
He's
to
like,
him.
get the fuck away from
He's
me.
just like he's like young Henry Rollins. He's like, I fucking hate you. And then like Henry Rollins, older, like 10 or 15 years later, does another interview with them and says, you know, I still kind of fucking hate you, but I totally understand.
Steve,
where
the
you're
game
coming
was
from.
called
So-
Demon Stone for PS2.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
That's a very good game.
Yeah, it is
It
pretty
kind
good.
of plays like the Lord of the Rings games. Where you
I forgot that I actually even own that. And there was one other thing I kind of brought for everybody because it's just one of those things you probably will never see again in your life. But TSR released the DC issues of it was like their D&D.
I have there was a newer one released called the DC role playing game.
Is that Deathstroke on the cover?
Yes, it is.
Holy
a
shit!
Titan Evermore. These are pretty cool. But like the new system is terrible.
I'm sure.
I want to play these. By the way.
Check this one out.
So if you want to do
That's an old book you're holding in your hand.
that is
And you know the funny thing about
Batman
it,
would be a gadget user.
The funny thing about all this, when Tony gives me the Ben button, this is like the dislike button for Tony for that one viewer that gives a thumbs down to his YouTube video. So
It's Dead Man Spectre, and I have
I'm
no
gonna
idea
embrace
on
it.
the magic one there.
Guys, that's my topic. I hope you enjoyed it,
Yeah.
especially my show and tell.
Did you ever see the documentary? It's called Dungeon Masters.
No, I was trying to, in preparation for this, I tried to look up any documentary I could, and it popped up, but it wouldn't let me. It was on Prime. It wouldn't let me watch it, though.
Yeah, it's good. I watched it. It kind of like makes fun of it a little bit. It focuses on the people who are really like the LARPing.
Like the LARPers,
yeah. Which is there's another one called Monster Camp. It's a documentary and it's about LARPing. That's really good.
I tried my hand at it. I had some friends. I'm not going to mention any names.
I totally played it. Loved it.
I with my love of Dungeons and Dragons, I thought it was something that I could totally get into.
Yeah.
It was a whole weekend ordeal, and I went. And the first night we kind of partied. We had a lot of fun, and then the second day was showtime, and I was playing a cast member, and it was like not even fucking noon, and I was like,
I'm done.
this is not for me. Like they're like, here's your costume, and I was a little bit bigger than I was now, so I like fit in this fucking thing, and I look like a sausage, and I'm like all frilly and shit, and I'm like, this is fucking not working for me. This is not working.
The Monster Camp one is definitely more like campy, and it focuses on probably more like projecting them in a bad image, but I like that. I mean, it's highly entertaining. I mean, they show like how when the players die, they go to this like healing circle, and they have to pick like these beads out of this bag, and there's so many in there that are one color and one that is one other color, and if they draw the one that is just the one single color, their character dies forever.
Nice.
And I mean, it's interesting.
It's a dorkier version of Civil War reenactment.
Can you grab for me Skills and Powers, please?
Wow, and this Princess of
And
Joy.
also the one that the Tom Moldvay, the one I'm wearing.
And the movie's called Darkness Rising. I highly suggest it. It's called The Gamers Darkness Rising, and some people have played D&D.
This is
It's so
awesome.
good.
So this Batman one. So you play as Batman, and he has a secret identity, and Matches Malone is in the book
No, probably everything I went
with the mustache and sunglasses.
What's the copyright on that book? Thanks, Mark.
I'd say that's like in
Look after the
70s,
title
early
page in the
80s.
beginning. Flip like the first page.
So these were cool because you could play as DC characters. The one
That
I
looks
have,
like
you
a
create your
late-
own.
late
DC
70s,
Comics?
Late 70s, early
1986 DC Comics Inc.
80,
86.
86.
Oh, 86. Wow.
Like this one, you could be John Constantine, Dr. Fate.
Real quick,
demon.
since we are a podcast, and this is probably what other podcasts wouldn't do, but we're not like other podcasts. So if you are a D&D guy there and you are getting new to the podcast, or maybe you're supporting us because you are a podcast fan, you're supporting us because you like us, but not so much a podcast person, but this topic is right up your alley. There are actually dedicated podcasts to Dungeons and Dragons where you can listen
right.
to.
Sure, there's plenty.
And you can listen to their stories go and go. I'm just going to give you a few. I just typed in the most popular Dungeons and Dragon podcast of 2020. Critical Role.
Critical Role, right.
Critical Hit, a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Sneak Attack. Greetings, Adventurers, Dungeons and Dragons 5e actual play. Dragon Talk, an unofficial Dungeons and Dragons podcast. An official Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Acquisitions Incorporated, the series. Not Another D&D podcast. D&D is for nerds. Dungeons and Daddies.
You might want to stay on that one.
Bombarded, a musical Dungeons and Dragons adventure. God's Fall, a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. And Tabletop Champions, a real play D&D 5e, D&D 5e. No idea what that means.
5th edition.
And then Dragon and Friends. I don't know which one is, if maybe I've already said it, but I do know of a one that I was talking to at someone at a job already, and they said it's a bunch of celebrities that play Dungeons and Dragons.
That's Critical Role.
Oh, okay.
Is that the one with Matt Mercer?
Matt Mercer is the Dungeon Master.
Like Terry Crews has played it.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt Mercer gets paid to be a dungeon master. That's his job.
Oh, wow.
D&D has actually jumped into the mainstream. There are a legit pile of celebrities that come out in the last 15 years. We love D&D. We've been playing all of our
A
lives.
lot of pro wrestlers are coming out saying they're in D&D. Actually, someone came out and wore D&D dice on their trunks recently.
Brandon Cutler.
Yeah, Brandon Cutler.
It's funny because John Manganiello
Yes,
is a
John. Well, that actually
plays,
spawned from the rest. So a wrestler named MJF, who is a giant heel, and he goes and makes fun of everybody. Said Dungeons and Dragons are for nerds in their basement. And Joe Manganiello or whatever you say his name,
Manganiello
took a picture of himself, put his shirt off, just completely jacked. He goes, "I play D&D."
He smacked him with a bag of dice.
Yeah.
Not only that, Joe, can't say his last name, is a legit awesome dude. He takes the game to children's hospitals and plays new setup games. I believe he was just in Pittsburgh doing it.
That's another thing to even talk about. I've read articles where they use it as rehabilitation in like prisons, like people that murdered people, like high security prisons.
If I'm in prison,
this is a godsend.
and I'm doing life and time,
I'd be 100%.
Yeah,
100.
this is a godsend.
I'm literally doing another life. Like it's like you don't have your freedom, but you can use your imagination to.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, put me in a secret ward, like maybe just one secret area. Like I think video games should be in prison. Like I do. I think I think you should do more things that mentally stimulate people, so they have less time to fucking plot and scheme.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, the thing about Dungeons and Dragons that has always fascinated me, especially growing up, was the artwork.
Absolutely.
That is always. I've always been very much into art. It's been a big part of my life, and Dungeons and Dragons was always something that, you know, looking at those monster manuals, especially seeing that one again, because I mean, I remember that stuff like it's, you know, yesterday.
Yeah.
But another thing is on Prime as well, there's a documentary. It's called, and I've mentioned it on here once before, it's called Eye of the Beholder, The Art of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
And it's very, 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 very good,
I meant
especially
to
if you
watch that.
appreciate the art in these books.
I would be open to playing or trying it, like if not on camera, like what we just said at your house and play.
Honestly.
but
It's a lot at first, but then once you get the hang of it,
you need
it's
to
bad.
be very patient with me because I know nothing.
No, I already know how you're going to play, man. I already know the type of player that you are, and that's okay. I could totally work around it.
Like taking it not seriously.
First edition
Yeah.
one shot.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, a first edition one shot, or even 3.5. Give them some power to start with.
yeah.
I think I think I played a 3.5.
I played a tabletop game, and I didn't think I was going to be into it because it was like sometimes games are just too complex for me, and I just want something super simple.
Right.
And we played this game, and I fucking want to buy it.
What was it called?
It's called Champions.
Oh, I thought Shoots and Ladders.
No. And it was a Marvel game.
Arkham Asylum.
And
that
you
Marvel game.
Oh,
You
yeah,
all
yeah.
work together to beat the game together.
Right.
But like it's so much fun. Like I don't remember any of the rules. I just remember the person who was helping us play was very patient with me, knowing that I've never done this.
Yeah.
And they make like a Resident Evil version. They like there's a DC one, but it's more of a player versus player. But I would really like to go buy those because I had so much fun playing it. Like I had a blast. I want more people who are into it to play it with me more because I really liked playing it. Like I like the idea of working together and beating the enemies.
There's a lot of board games like that. And some are super in depth, and then some are just anyone can play.
Yeah.
There were
Like you draw cards and you're like, oh, that goes to mine. I can upgrade my guy and make him stronger.
That's awesome.
Like, it was fucking. I don't
Like
know.
you'd like Munchkin, but then you can fight with people.
I love Munchkin.
Munchkin's so fun. It's really easy to pick up.
There's two things I'd like to kind of touch on. What Jason said about the art. The art is also a huge deal to me. This is Errol Otis did most of the work in this book. Mm-hmm. He is by far my favorite artist, probably. He did some really weird shit for D&D, but man, some of that art is amazing. And also, I'm going to share with everybody my personal favorite picture in all of Dungeons & Dragons books. If I had a creepy van, I would paint it black and put this on the side.
Oh, there you go.
An
with
orc
some lights.
version of Tom Kessler.
How awesome would that be?
So it's not a tabletop game; it's a deck builder game, and it's called Upper Deck Legendary, a Marvel deck.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
I love that picture.
It's a dark of talking to a mind flayer.
Giving him some money.
Yeah, oh, that's pretty good. Yes, I'll do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's like my favorite D&D picture. I would
that's
totally
cool.
put that on the side
The-
of
the
a van.
art-
So we're not talking about arcane hand jobs.
Yeah.
We could talk about that later.
The art in all the D&D books is good. Usually
Yeah, it's
there's
beautiful.
always good art.
I like the
funny.
old school stuff the best.
I agree
just
with you.
because that's what I connect it with growing up, you know.
You know, looking at the stats, some of these D&D people, the DC people, it's crazy. Like, a lot of them are pushovers. Then Phantom Stranger, his stats are through the roof. Like, he has 25s and stuff. It's insane.
The cool thing in the monster
That's cool.
manual, if you like, read about the monster, then at the end it has like a little brief thing that tells like what that person is like. Like it's like this person, you know, is very aggressive,
Yeah.
and speaks its own language and can't be reasoned.
It would
with
even tell you
and
the
stuff.
alignment and all
yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah,
like super.
That's
I
wild.
mean, that monster manual, honestly, I'd buy that just to have
To look
the
at.
artwork
Yeah, even as a
and
kid,
read-
I looked at it.
and
This is
read it and
awesome.
stuff, and you know.
I'm going to throw this out there for anybody who is listening, because I actually need this answered. Where's the Jabberwocky?
There's a Jabberwocky in one of the second edition monster manuals. We can't find it. We saw it once. We both seen it independently of each other. Talked about it. Went back to find it. We can't find it. It's weird.
It's like the Mandela effect.
Maybe. I want to add also that like D&D, obviously to me, it's kind of a big deal. It's not just a book collecting thing at all. I've been playing since I'm 12. It's how I met Mark. We've been friends since we're fucking 12. It's weird to me. It's not like I didn't party in high school, because I definitely did. I have a lot of memories from doing a lot of different things. But my D&D memories, I mean, aside from sitting around a table with friends, like some of that stuff, it was, I don't want to sound too corny, it was almost like it was kind of real. Like, and then there's, you know, you have like just fucking myth and lore. Like, I did not play with Mark the night that he got hornswoggled up a tower. It was the circular staircase. He got chased the whole way up. Had nothing to do. He was trapped. So he kicked over a coffin, dumped the corpse out, hopped in it, and rode the stairs like a sled. Rolled a 20, and he totally pulled it off. I wasn't even there for that, but it's a story that like I'm super familiar with. What it does, like long term, it's cool. I have just as many D&D memories. Maybe not just as many, but
A lot.
other
hold
memories.
on.
A
Just-
ton.
Just like
so I
cool
can
batshit
understand this.
stuff that,
So,
you do.
your dungeon master tells you like, "Hey, this is what is happening."
Let's
And
do
then-
an example.
And then like you're like, "Okay, well, this is what I want to do to get out of the situation." And then your dungeon
And
master then
Do
says,
you have a dice? Any of them?
then your dungeon master says, "Okay, for that to work, you need to roll a certain number.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, you die."
And-
Yeah,
And
well,
you
sure.
two of the same
Depending on what it
dice.
is, yeah.
You add your skills too. So like, here's 2 d20s, and then if you want to roll.
Yeah, and
Here you
people
go.
are incredibly
Here you
patient
go.
when you do it too, because
Give him the old lizard.
It's classic. Everyone is included on this, though. So let's just, for the sake of this, we're all level 0 bums.
This is a DC Rebirth deck building game.
Yeah, there's a bunch
Playing a
of them.
game, Tone.
This dude's
Sorry,
over on fucking
sorry.
Amazon.
Sorry,
There's no Amazon in D&D.
there isn't my game.
Some of them card games are terrible though.
Say 12 means that that's a real thing.
Everyone's a level 0 nothing, all right? You can play yourself. You could be whatever you want to be right now.
But I have a big penis.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
and no joint disorder either.
Wait, what?
Sorry, I
no,
went there.
no joint disorder?
No, I do.
You do have
All
it,
right,
yeah.
you're rolling with it.
And a big
Okay.
penis.
But a big penis.
All right, sweet. You guys are all
5,
friends.
so I'm ugly. That
You
was
guys-
my looks.
Thanks, Tom. You guys have all been friends since you're children. You're all ragamuffins, thieves, low-level thieves. Steal the apple to eat and to
Okay.
survive, okay?
Yeah.
No one's a master thief here.
Do we sell Ben for sex? 10. Yeah.
No.
No, you definitely don't.
Fuck.
So there was a job that Andy's character heard about.
Okay.
It's at a bazaar down the street. You guys choose to go?
Yeah. Fuck
I'm
it.
kind of forcing you to.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
All right.
For the sake of this.
You go down, and it's this big, fat, gnarly dude with one eye, horseshoe, bald.
Send Ben.
Yeah? You stepping up first?
Because if it fucks up, we're running.
Yeah.
That's our gang's motto. If Ben can... Yeah. Send Ben.
Okay, I'll go.
So Tony's character pushes Ben forward a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like, "You!"
Yep.
Grabs Ben, pulls him in close. Now you guys are all there. You're all just a foot behind Ben.
Yeah.
He reaches down under the counter and he pulls out this fucking lizard. Boom! Plops it down on the table. Not including tail, it's this big.
Okay.
All right. It has a bag on its head. I need you to take this to Zanzier Tem on the other end of town. Think you can handle that?
Who's carrying the lizard?
No, he didn't say if you can handle it yet.
Oh.
He reaches down and he pulls out
See?
a leash and he gives it to you.
All right.
It has a collar on.
Okay. But he has a bag on his head.
It has a bag on its head.
I then pass the leash to Ben because I don't fuck with lizards.
See, you can do that. See, you could say like he's like he gives you the option.
Then I say no, and then I say, but
Yeah.
Ben will do it.
and your character can do whatever.
I speak for
what
our team.
Your character to do, unless you're trying to play like a religious character, or you know.
Right.
Yeah. I say no, but because I'm the mouth of the team.
It pays.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing it, but Ben's carrying.
Then you say, how much does it pay?
You'll each get 25 gold apiece.
5 gold's pretty good.
That's good.
I think we could all take it.
Yeah.
Zanzir will pay you when you get there.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Well, then
I like that name.
So you could roll a check to see if he's lying and stuff like that. So you
Yeah, you could
really
roll a
think,
bluff.
So it'll be
yeah.
like, I call bullshit.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah. So you would roll a d20 and plus your whatever.
Go ahead,
skill.
everybody roll. Roll your bluff.
Yeah. So I rolled a 14.
9.
Go ahead, Ben. Okay. Jason, roll.
5.
6.
I got 14.
As far as you can tell, Zanzir is going to pay.
Okay, so then it seems good. So like, let's do this.
All right, we're in.
As a group, as a party.
Yeah.
Want to fight things.
A good question to ask now would be, where is Zanzir's?
Yeah.
What does it look like? You know what I mean?
How
I
far is
I got one.
Go ahead, Ben.
Okay, so why is their bag on the lizard?
You don't want to know. Don't take the bag off. And he like grabs your fucking arm. Don't take the bag off.
Yeah, because you fuckers would do it.
I'm a cleric. I'm like, I wouldn't do it. See?
Somebody asked about where it's at. So he more or less directs you. Once you get through town, the middle of town, if you continue to look straight on the edge of town, you will see a tower. It's the only wizard tower, and that is where Zanzir resides.
So he lives in that giant dick tower.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Shaped like a penis.
It's very erect. The very phallic tower.
All right. So what happens?
Well, we're doing it. Fuck it.
Who's putting a leash on?
Ben.
Fucking
You can roll for it.
Ben, you putting a leash on?
Yeah,
if Ben fucks up, we just don't take the job. We just back out. That's just how. And then we're just like, we need to find more gold somewhere else.
Why don't you just ask him to put the leash on?
Yeah,
Ben's taking too much time, so I put the leash on.
Oh, Andy steps
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Holy
You step
shit.
up, take the leash, put it on. Lizard doesn't even move.
Yeah, so we got...
Nothing happens.
All right.
Okay, handle animal. I have 3 points into it. So
Okay.
I will roll to handle animal.
Go
So
ahead.
guys, this is how you do it.
Go ahead.
So I got a 9 plus my 3 points equals 10, 11, 12. So
And what's the max you could do?
20.
It depends
Well,
on...
yeah.
How do you plan on handling
Stats.
this animal? Now, I'm. This is actually the roll that I made. I made a 2
Yeah.
Yeah.
against his.
To, like, pull
Usually,
like a dog.
this would be hidden. You wouldn't know that I rolled that.
Yeah.
So now I need to make a decision. How are you going to handle this?
Pull it like a dog. Kind
You're
of like, yeah.
But it's up on this counter.
Oh, yeah, it's not. I don't know if I'm strong enough to pick it up.
I'm
So,
definitely
is someone
not.
a warrior? Is someone a barbarian? I don't know.
Somebody can try.
Let's
Ben
just say.
Ben works out.
But we could double team it, but we both have to roll.
I mean, you guys both work out together, so I think that would be the best
we
option.
both roll. Well, I could be little girl.
It's you put your hand.
Yeah.
You put your hand under it, and it's heavy, but 2 of you can get it on the ground.
Okay. So 2 of us go attempt.
I'll take the ass.
Okay.
All right, Ben, you got the hand.
It picks up. It's kind of heavy, but again, it's kind of unresponsive.
We might have to carry this all the way there.
So you put it down on the ground, and now it's standing there. All right.
Yeah.
What's next?
You tug on it, see if it walks.
It walks.
All right, well then we're good. Let's go.
All right. So you're walking through. You begin to think to yourself, you can go right to the center of town like he directed you to do, but it's a market, and it's fucking crazy this time of the day. People everywhere. And the lizard off the ground is, its back is like this high. So you can walk it through town, through the center of the town if you want to, or Ben knows some back ways, some back alleys.
Because Ben's a rogue.
You could probably skate around and possibly avoid any kind of trouble.
But Jason's also crafty, and he can steal a cart that we could put the lizard in the cart.
Okay. I like that.
I am a thief.
Yeah.
I like that.
Then we got 2 rogues.
2
But-
glasses.
He's gonna have to roll every time to go to steal, and then might do a stealth check, and then
Yeah, and if I get caught stealing, then we get in a fight.
yeah.
So there's a little bit of method to the madness with the
Yeah, I'm gonna try and
actions.
pull out character sheet here, just so.
You want to know what you could choose from your
Yeah,
skills
yeah.
or your feats?
So right here, this is a character sheet. So what you would do
skills.
is there's all these skills. So if let's say you want to steal it, right? Now a rogue or something would have a thief. I forget what it's called. A deception check or something like that. So like, let's just this guy disabled device. Let's just use that. So intelligence. So if he has 6 intelligence, right? Well, let's give him 10. It's no bonus, but then he has 2 ranks in it, so he's at 2 total. Well, let's give him a bonus. He's a bonus of 1 because he has 12 intelligence. Then 2 ranks equals +3. So to make
Andy's slow
a check.
version.
Slow version for Tony.
Well, that was 20.
He wins.
+3. But
Right.
like, let's say I rolled 5 lower +3. 6, 7, 8. If it beats whatever he rolled,
Right.
then we did whatever.
So
we're trying
he
to do.
can like I roll high and I'm just fucking you every time.
Well,
Are you,
it's,
like,
it's my
playing-
decision at the end, no matter what.
Yeah, but he would.
Are you always playing against us?
Not
No,
necessarily.
no.
His
He's
goal
just
is
a
not.
story
It's like
It's
develop.
It's
like
all
development of
storytelling,
story.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's all
not.
development of
I don't
story.
want to fuck you because then you're not going to want to play.
Right,
Yeah.
right. If he just kills everyone,
Oh,
in
so in
5
my head the
minutes,
whole time I'm
there's no
thinking we're
sense in-
against him.
No,
No,
it's my job to
no.
keep you engaged.
Yeah.
That is my
He's
sole
just
purpose.
telling a story.
Right.
And, like,
So I'll give you an example. So when I played with Rygon's brother, Andy Gadonis, all right, he basically says, as long as you're
Name
trying
dropping.
doing different stuff, as long as you're doing different stuff and it's kind of sort of ambitious, he'll lay off and he'll give you the credit. Like
Right.
if you're doing something creative with it. But if you're not doing anything, you're doing like the half-ass, cheap-ass shit, he'll be like,
Right.
yeah, he'll penalize you.
But
a little bit.
essentially, he is God, and
Right.
Yeah.
like if he makes something difficult, like you can die. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you just-
you
there's
know,
still
there
the
has to be
risk and
consequences.
reward.
there's-
Yeah.
You're not going to run into the jail, but go, I'm going to go kill all the cops.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're going to die.
All right,
Right.
my character's bored, and I need to be entertained. And Ben is holding the lizard. And I'm ripping the bag off the head.
Really?
Yeah.
You fucking dick. You would. You would.
So
18.
All right. So Tony bends over. He doesn't say anything to anybody. He bends over and he goes for the bag. Anybody? Reaction? You got a couple seconds.
I jump back.
I jump back is right too.
Ben doesn't see me coming.
2 little fucking kids come running out of nowhere, and they come running over and beat Andy to the chase. They rip the bag off this lizard's head.
What's this?
They rip the bag off. The one lizard bites right into this fucking girl. She turns to stone like that.
It's a basilisk.
The
I'm going to roll my, which one is it? It's, I'd have to have a
who has
knowledge.
the leash right now?
Ben.
Ben, roll something.
I don't have a dice.
There's like
There's-
500 fucking dice.
Oh, there we go.
And all of a sudden, there's none in
18.
sight.
18. Let me see mine.
I had 18.
All right, I believe you. Okay.
I do have one question though.
Yeah.
Like, as you're playing, how do you determine what dice to roll? Since there's so many different
Okay, so-
ones, like
There's certain
every
ones
time
that
we've
for
done it,
certain
we've-
You
action.
might have a sword that does 1d8 damage. So this is a d8. So
then
every time
you
you
can
roll
roll that,
to hit,
yeah.
you first you roll and you hit.
I
So
see.
11 plus your whatever you have to attack. Let's just
Right,
say you
right,
hit that
right.
thing, and then you swing. You did 7 damage, and you can add your strength modifier, whatever it is.
Most of my decisions,
Yeah.
personally, will either be done with a D20 or I like to use the percentile. I'll use like 100. You'll have an 80% chance of success. I roll to see.
Okay.
Or sometimes, if it was Tony's brilliant idea, I'll let Tony roll that dice
Yeah.
to see.
a lot of math in this.
Yeah, it's a lot of math.
So
and then
we
basically
will-
these
That's
are
our
I would say
Hearthstone's
simple
like that.
Like
we will
simple
continue
math,
this
like
another
simple
time,
math.
but I think it'd be fun maybe in one night.
I would love to play, man.
So-
I would love it.
I enjoyed the 10 minutes that we did doing
so,
that.
so what's your favorite class? Do you have a favorite class?
I have a tendency to play a priest.
Okay.
It's not necessarily my favorite, though.
Can you imagine sitting around drinking beer and
roll,
slamming
roll,
beer.
playing
roll,
this? Oh
roll
my
a
God, I'd
15
love it.
to see how many kids,
definitely do that?
because you're a priest, how many kids you have taken.
Percentile.
5.
Percentile.
5 kids.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're really holy.
It is a lot of fun.
I could see at some time playing this game, we would take tape and wrap it around Anthony's mouth.
100%.
No, I would totally play with you guys. It's something I love.
I'm,
If this
I'm
is something-
serious. I would play.
If this is something that you guys would be interested in hearing, we can set mics up and record it and like put mics around and
Yeah.
I
I'd
would
be up for
definitely
that.
do it.
and it
yeah.
could be like a bonus audio only episode. And we could do our
Absolutely.
first, like the Not Cool in High School's first ever
That'd be fucking awesome.
done. And if something people like, then we'll make it like a regular, like maybe one Saturday a month or 2 Saturdays a month. We'll sit and play.
That'd be
That's
so cool.
like the
No
bank-
camera, no video, just straight
Audio.
only.
Yeah.
That's like the bang
Yeah, I
and
don't want
beers.
anybody to see me in my wizard robe.
Yeah.
That's like the bang and beers that we did when we played Cards Against Humanity. We figure out the.
So if this is something you
voice
want to hear
modifier.
and you want to hear
That's
us play
funny.
Dungeons and Dragons and probably hear me fucking make the most ridiculous things ever. we'll do it.
It would really drag it out, I think.
Well, the only problem is if you're too disruptive, then you take away from the game, and then the players will start to hate you. 'Cause I've had players
You don't
like
want to be
that.
ousted.
I've had players like that, and then you're like, fucking shut up. We're trying to play the game.
I would probably be that guy at first, and just until I understand what's going
and then
on.
usually what happens
I
to that
just have
guy
to keep you engaged.
is then we stop inviting that guy.
Or he gets stabbed in game.
Yeah.
A lot by the
Yeah.
other players.
I know the one thing though, just a funny thing. I watching that documentary. I remember the one guy, he would get mad at his dice if they didn't perform
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he took them and he put them in the freezer and he'd keep them in there for like hours or like a day or something. And he'd get them out and he'd tell them how bad they were and he'd
punishing
smash
them.
them. He'd smash them with a fucking hammer on the sidewalk.
I've seen there was a guy we used to
Yo,
play, I think I
dice
was so mad
shaming
he-
is for real.
Yeah.
No, that's a real thing.
he'd smash his dice.
when if you have a player who's a Tony, we'll say,
Okay.
and like you don't invite him anymore, or do you like? Have you ever seen a situation where you like kill him mid game? Like we all stab him, and if he's done, and you're like, all right, now go fuck him.
No, it usually resolves itself kind of the way Andy said. I did play a game once. I was not the dungeon master, and it was many years ago. A friend of ours, a mutual friend, was like, "Hey, do you mind if my friend comes to the next game?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." It was at my house. So this new guy comes. No one knows him except for this one friend, and
Yeah.
there's probably like 7 of us playing. So this dude, we were just starting a fresh adventure. Bang, right out the gate, town's on fire, skeletons everywhere. They're fucking murdering children and shit. So what this dude was doing was going out of his way to stop everyone else at the table from like saving children. He would like set them up so the skeleton would kill the children and shit. And like this, like I thought a fucking fight was gonna break out, like for real. Like people were getting
really?
fucking pissed at this dude. And I mean, and he wasn't doing anything wrong. He said that he was some kind of evil alignment and he was playing the character, but that guy never came back. Like he left and everybody was like, fuck him. And I was like, yeah, we can't.
You don't want to play against the group you're with.
Now, do
Right.
you like put him in story like something happened to him? So there's like, are you just pretending it
No,
never
we
happened?
just, we pretend that never happened.
like Roseanne.
like that
That's
guy.
exactly what happened.
What do they call that? Retcon?
Yeah.
Previously in Dungeons and Dragons, Jim was fucking us over, so we stabbed him in the neck.
Yeah, no, he was not allowed
never
back.
to be seen again. All right, cool. Real fast plugs, Andy. What do you got?
Nothing really. Nothing really.
Jason,
Nothing this time.
Nah, I don't have shit, man.
how many different pizza business hats do you own? You have a Little Caesars, then you have old school Domino's. Do you have a Pizza Hut?
No, there's a funny story actually behind this hat. So when I was younger and I turned 21, the guy who lived behind me, he worked for Domino's, and he's like, if you're ever coming home late for the bar at night, he's like, I'm going to give you this jacket and this hat. He's like, just put that on. He's like, when I go through DUI checkpoints and they see me with the Domino's hat on and a jacket, they like just wave me through. You know what I mean? So I'm like, cool, man.
Does it work?
That's awesome.
I never tested it out, but my alliance is to Little Caesars. This is just a hat I have.
you get like a little a window thing and stick it on top.
Yeah. I mean, it
That's hilarious.
sounded like it would work good, but
Fucking amazing. Ben, what do you got?
Banging beers. I'm done.
Killed it.
Nice job, Ben.
We do have a Bangin' Beers coming up that if we have an open spot at the table on Friday, you would probably
oh my
want to
god,
be.
you would be so perfect for it.
We are doing.
oh yeah, shit, that's right. I
We are
forgot.
doing a seltzer episode.
Oh, nice.
We are doing White Claw versus Bud Light.
No shit.
Or
Yeah.
for real, I'm bringing my biggest glass.
I'm bringing razor
Ever.
blades to slit my fucking wrist.
What do you got to plug?
I'm bringing a basic white girl.
Malifaux leagues are coming back up. We're gonna run through a new set of leagues at the Alchemist Cove. At least I believe so. I think so far the reaction's been kind of lukewarm, so I don't know if we're gonna have enough people for it to go. I think Rob's trying to weigh it out and see what happens.
Maybe we'll start the Not Cool in High School Dungeons and Dragons episodes.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, side quest. We'll call it side quest.
I call half
I
orc.
like it. That just came to me. See what I did there? See what I did there? What do you got, Mark?
I'm gonna go with Hucklebucks.
Okay.
Hucklebucks got what's the guy's name? Tommy Simpson? Tommy Stinson? I think
he
he-
was semi-popular. I don't know what his name was.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell he played with, but he's somebody kind of famous. And also, they're gonna have a Quentin Tarantino night where last time they did it was Wes Anderson. People dress up as favorite characters from the movies, and
When I had my
kinda
long
cool.
hair, I did John Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
I'm sure you could do some obscure stuff with that.
Yeah.
well, That's
cool.
what I'm throwing out there. That's coming up.
That's cool, though. That's a neat idea.
We are going as Reservoir Dogs.
That'd be awesome.
I'm sure you won't
There's
be the
enough
only
of
ones.
us.
Yeah.
I go as Mr. Orange
I've
because I
never
like
seen
the
that movie.
color
It's-
orange.
No, you're
Fuck
pink.
you. Fuck you.
You're pink.
Fuck you.
Like Mr. Pussy.
Fuck you.
It's better than Mr. Brown. It sounds like Mr. Shit.
There you go. I love
Yeah.
it. Somebody nailed it. All right, everyone. That'll wrap it up. Here's Sam.
Thank you.
Look alive. This probably went long, but I love it. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.